and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
You know, like the real Trump derangement syndrome. The mere mention of his name generates intense hostility. Every one of his online posts, no matter how dated, sends his enemies into a blind rage. Nearly every action or public appearance seems to underscore his depravity and unfitness for office. Well, he's a commie. Let's start with that. He's a brat, an elitist in a fancy place with armed guards in Uganda who wants to attack the very class that he comes from. That's all that he foams at the mouth with this. So that's derangement syndrome. You know what they're doing here at Politico? They realize what I've been saying and what you know. This guy, well, I said yesterday, I told Henry at the end of the show, let me write this down. The road to the midterms leads through the 2 M's. Mamdani, because we're going to use it in every ad we can. Are you with this commie, yes or no? Because he's going to be the mayor. And the other, Mastriano. Politico, again, another column, they're handicapping the field for 2028. And they say the governors, the guy who is very progressive in Maryland, Wes Moore, governor, Josh Shapiro, neck and neck. And they say, you know, Shapiro could vault ahead of him if he gets to run again against abysmal Doug Mastriano. Everybody in the world saying Doug Mastriano. He's a menace. Well, how dumb is he going to cost the midterms? He'll cost 3 congressional seats, maybe 4 in Pennsylvania, Republicans. That's how. And we lose that. They have control of the House. Mamdani, on the other side, they're not going to get away with it, even with the media and the tank. It's going to be too much. Every ad, everything that we do is going to be about this is your modern Democrat Party. And some of them will be endorsing him. Others will have to answer for it. Now, not as much as Republicans have to answer for something, but they will. All right, so we have that going on as we speak. I don't think the cops should allow him to be at the funeral. Tell him, no, you're not welcome here. Defund the police means you don't want the cops. You don't want the racist cops. Now, we're going to talk with Paul Morrow. For a long time, I wanted to get him on from Fox. He is the crime terrorism guy. He's actually been on the 5 recently several times. I just think he's one of the best commentators Fox has, and we'll ask him about that in New York, defund the police and all the rest of it. He's here at 12:30. Stacy Garrity is here at 2:30 today. Please, Stacy Garrity. I'm not going to bring it up with her. She'll announce when she's going to announce. But I want to get her name out there because I'm lighting candles. Is that violation of the fire code here? That number of candles? Greg Stocker said only 3 or 4 today. That she runs. Because if she doesn't run, I'm convinced it's going to be Doug Mastriano. It can't be. How is this happening? And I know people are consumed with Trump, the national stuff and all that. But Trump's got to be consumed here, swoop in and tell this guy, yo, sit down on the bench. You're a nut. I don't want you running for governor. Because if you do, you're going to lose these House seats. And then we won't be able to get any of the Trump agenda done for 2 years. They'll go after him. You know what'll happen. I feel like this is a bad movie. We're frozen like the last time. The last time, the Republican authorities didn't jump in and endorse somebody. And we had some good candidates, but too many of them. Barletta, Bill McSwain, Dave White. And this guy has that underbelly of the Republican Party out there in the hinterlands. That's all that he has. He's going to be, and I'm starting to hear people, some people on social media going, well, who are you to say that about Doug Mastriano? Who am I? I'm standing here for the fate of the country. And you're going to dilly-dally and not call this guy what he is, an embarrassment beyond embarrassment, a loser who's just running because he's got just enough maybe to be the nominee if the right people don't jump into the ring. So she'll also be here. Now, Kamala Harris, I just told Dawn, it was on Newsmax. Her book will be out in September, 107 days. You know what she's playing with. I only had 107 days. So I'm on Newsmax with this Democrat strategist, and they're asking him, what will they do on Colbert tonight? And I'll predict, here's what they're going to do. They will say Kamala Harris will be allowed with all of her foibles, all of her just DEI, the face of DEI. That's how she got to where she was. She's going to say, I predicted this, Stephen. Do you remember I told you Trump would be doing this? And I was right. And Stephen Colbert will give her the sign of the cross. Yes, you were right. That will be the whole theme tonight. You were right. You predicted it. So America should have elected you. If the race were held right now, I think Trump would beat Kamala Harris even worse than what we've seen. And look at the stuff she did during the campaign. The layup question with Hostin. Well, just tell us. Can you please tell us? We'll help you. We'll give you half of the answer. Just tell us how you're different than that moron Joe Biden. Remember that? Well, I can't think of a single thing. Oh, my God. Tagging in Walz as the VP. Refusing to go on Joe Rogan. To even consider that to be a possibility. Okay? Just those three things. She loses all 7 swing states. The most amazing thing, she loses the popular vote to President Trump. I didn't think we'd ever see a Republican win the popular vote again, and it wasn't really that close. All right, so Mandami is trying to fine-tune his approach to the police. He hates the cops. He sees with. Here's the nugget of the day. And I thank God, and Steve, if you're listening, or somebody get to Steve, I'd love to have you on. And talk about how good you are. That's what I want to do. Steve Keeley, Fox 29, points out that ICE has just gone after and captured one of their most wanted. And Henry, I don't even know if he was alive. Andrew may not have been anywhere near here. You wouldn't know the Eddie Pollock case. This is one of the most infamous cases in Philadelphia area history. Eddie Pollock was beaten to death over a multi-block area by animals with bats. And the reason it made national news, people were calling 911, and the 911 operators were both callous and stupid. Maybe stupid should be first. One of them said, calm down. I don't know where Ron Street is. Doesn't know where Ron Street is. What the heck? Remember that. I remember it because I still have it home. I might bring them in. We used to call them carts. Andrew, you're not familiar with carts, are you? Henry was, but you know what a cart is?
No. I'm an old soul.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
In radio terms.
Carts, or like that's how you play stuff and everything.
Yeah. It used to be these carts, and you pop them in, and then you bulk them.
Yes.
You rub them over a thing to get rid of it. I kept these. I never bulked them. Just because it was so, I can't believe this guy saying, where's Ron Street? One 911 operator said, well, slow down. Are they metal bats or wooden bats? What is this, the Olympics? Are they metal or wooden bats? They're beating them with bats. God. If you happen to see, if you Google it and then become an Any Sound listener, I know, would take them down memory lane with it. Those are the two biggies I remember. But I had a whole array of this. We played it for weeks. That guy now, and you're probably saying, well, wait a minute, didn't they go to jail? I went back, and I can't get the full account. I think they got 10 to 20 years for killing Eddie Pollock. Must have gotten out here illegally. So this whole Eddie Pollock thing, I'm bringing it back to, this is the Trump, get these people out of the country. That's who's still here. Someone who committed these acts and then is out there committing more acts. I don't know why he wasn't deported. Oh, I know why. Democrats were in charge. When did he get out of jail? Why was he still around? He's Asian, I believe. That he wasn't deported. And people on Twitter are attacking Steve Keeley for putting this up. What? It's just an example of what the Trump program is doing. It's taking notorious people like this who somehow or another looks to be still relatively young. Maybe he was only in jail 10 years for killing Eddie Pollock, and are out there committing violence and mayhem again. See if that's reported anywhere else other than with Steve Keeley and Talk Radio 1210. Thank you, Steve. Thanks for the work you do every day. But where's Ron Street? What kind of bats are they? There was a whole array of these. One, it was a girl who was stricken. Henry, I mean, they beat him to death, as I remember it. He died on the, well, he didn't die there, but I mean.
Yeah, I'm reading about it right now.
Yeah, on the steps of a church.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's going to the girl, you're going to have to calm down or I'm not going to take your call. What? She's seeing blood gushing all over the place on the steps of a church. And I think, as I remember, their union was so strong, none of them got fired. Where's Ron Street? It's like an all-time top 10 Philadelphia, only in Philadelphia. Where's Ron Street? If you're on Ron Street, give us a call, 855-839-1210. All right, so we got Paul Morrow. I'm going to talk to Guy Shiraki about, see what he thinks with Mastriano and what's happening here. And Stacy Garrity, big guest, thanks to Henry, 2:30 today. We'll talk with her about an array of things, how much Democrats are coming at her. They're afraid of her. The Republicans are going to endorse in September. I'm going to ask Guy at 1 o'clock, if she doesn't run, are they going to endorse Doug Mastriano? I can't do that. I just cannot be part of this whole thing. What do I have to do? What kind of roadblock can I throw in this? Who's out there? There's got to be somebody. Oh, they're afraid of Josh Shapiro. Wow. All right, side question. Yesterday, we were looking at the day in history afterward for the side question, and Henry mentioned this, and I went, oh, man, I know this one. It's a perfect side question. This week, maybe it was yesterday, Pete Rose got a hit, and it was 44 straight games. Mm-hmm. So the day would have been today, unless they were off in the next day, that he got stopped in the 45th game. And I remember, rather than saying, oh, it was a good effort to break DiMaggio's record, which is unbelievable record, Gene Garber, who pitched for the Phillies, a reliever, was the target of his ire because Gino just kept throwing him changeups. And that offended Pete Rose. You got to give the guy a fastball. Challenge me. Throw it by me. I'm surprised he didn't bunt and run him over top, of him. You know what I mean?
Expect nothing less, honestly.
Yeah, nothing less. So that triggered in me, and Henry even had my answer ready. That's how good it was, and I have no idea what Andrew might say. Mm-hmm. We want an all-time unwritten rule or law. Call it a law in quotes. I'll give you an example. So Pete Rose was saying, hey, you got to challenge a guy in a situation like this. You can't be nibbling. You know, you got to throw him some pitches here. Can't be throwing all change-ups. And they may have been outside the strike zone, and he's swinging because he wants to get a hit. It's his last chance to keep the streak going. Yeah. So you identified my all-timer and how shocked I was 5 years ago when people started telling me, oh, no, it's not like that in South Philly anymore. When it snows, particularly a fairly heavy snow, and you dig that snow out, that's your space. People in South Philly put an old toilet in there, I've seen. They put an anchor in there. One guy dragged out an anchor. They have every right to that space. Now, I would say this. If it's like an inch or two and it's minimal and you just kind of sweep it out, all right.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about when there's things piled up and you have to get inside your little igloo there.
Yeah.
That's an unwritten law. That's your space. You're a communist. I bet. Is there any doubt Mondami would say, are you kidding me? That's not your space. I'll arrest you.
It's our space.
It's our space. Helen Kim said the same thing. All right, so that's an unwritten rule. There could be unwritten rules in dating, in relationships, in neighborhoods, in sports. We'll take them in sports, but that's an easy one. So maybe you want to stay away from this. Henry, what's yours?
Yeah, so I'll give you a real life one, and I'll give you a sports one as well. The real life one, I personally, I can't stand it when people do this. Whether you're getting on a train or you're getting on an elevator, let the people who are getting off get off the train or elevator.
Exactly.
I mean, what is it's not, they're not going to leave without you. They see you're on the steps waiting to get on the train, or they see you're on the elevator. Like, they're not going to quickly close the door. Like, let's get out of here. We don't want this guy on. Like, you're going to get on. You're going to get to your destination just fine on time.
That is perfect.
Calm down.
Let me add to that. I got on with a woman the other day. For some reason, she went to the back of the elevator. We were only going down 3 flights. You'd have to stun me with a cattle prod. I'm not getting off until she gets off.
Yeah.
I don't care if it embarrasses her at this point. It's like a new era or something.
Yeah.
I'm staying there. The floors, the elevator can go up and down. You got to get off in front of me.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to give them like the hand gesture.
Yeah.
Like,
After you.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew.
Well, hold on. I got another.
He's got the sports one.
Yeah, I got a sports
He's got to
one
say
here.
the sports
And I'm going to stick with baseball here,
yeah.
because baseball has
They have
quite
the
a lot
most,
of unwritten rules.
the
And
most.
I'll take the easy one off. If a pitcher is throwing some sort of no-hitter or perfect game,
Right.
don't mention it. Don't say anything about it. Don't go up
Okay.
and talk to him about it. Don't sit next to him in the dog and go, hey, pal, you're pitching a pretty good game out here today.
Yeah,
you
You're
know?
doing pretty good
You're
over
doing
there,
pretty
buddy.
good. How many hits you got? None?
Wow.
You're almost
Well,
perfect.
Did you know that? Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to jinx it by speaking it verbally or even talking to the guy. So yeah, don't talk to someone who's pitching a gem like that.
Okay, Andrew.
Well, the one I tried to come up with a sports one, but I figured like those are a little bit too common. And
Yes.
we were talking about this yesterday, so I came up with one. If you are entering a building, or if you're leaving a building, or if you're just going through a doorway, or either which way, and somebody's close enough behind you, just hold the door for them.
Well, what's the distance or
Yeah.
what's the time?
Well,
Do you want to make that person? I mean, if you do it too much and the person's relatively slow, then they feel they have to run.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I just feel like it's common courtesy to just hold the door. Just hold the door for them. It's. I think it's the nice thing to do.
Well, I'm in agreement, but I think you're evading. You must be a politician here. You're evading. Suppose it makes the person uncomfortable. Instead, you're doing it because you're so generous.
Within 10 feet, I would say within 10 or 15 feet. I would say.
I'd give a 3-point line here. Okay.
Well, you're 20 feet out there?
level. College
level
level.
3-point line.
Yes, yes.
But that to me, like, I can't tell you how many times I've seen, and not to try to bash younger people and stuff like that, but like
No, go ahead, yes.
people just younger people, or for the most part, it's younger people. They just they walk through the door and they just let it go and it slams in somebody's face.
I'll say
It's like,
my all-time. What is it if I say thank you because you held the door? What's your response?
You're welcome.
Yeah,
yes,
easy.
rather than or okay, Jack, or okay, boss, or something.
I mean,
like that.
I don't always say you're welcome,
You're
but
welcome. There
like
you
sometimes
go.
it's like, yeah, no problem.
You
Like,
got you got it.
yeah, it's nothing.
I
No
think it's
problem.
got to be you're welcome. I need a you're welcome out
Or
of
you could take the Chick-fil-A approach and be like, my pleasure.
That is definitely a generational
nothing
divide.
wrong with that.
It is.
In my eyes, saying like,
I
yeah,
know.
no problem. Like that's the same as saying you're welcome.
I know it is, but that's why I brought it up. I
Yeah.
still think we should have your welcome there.
All right, now whenever I hold the door for Dom, I gotta remember to say you're welcome.
Yes,
every
thank
time.
you.
You're welcome.
Don't you want to say you're welcome? All right, 855-839-1210. Kamala Harris vows to stay in the fight. Oh, man. All right. Get in on the side question. And it's National Lipstick Day, or maybe it was one of the days coming up. I have a question on that. The president today, and we got to talk about this. Henry's in pretty good shape, I think, athletically. And yet he said he might not be able to do them. He is coming up. He is putting into play again for the public schools the presidential fitness test. And you might be thinking, well, what's wrong with that? I commend it. But I bet a lot of these public schools will refuse to do it. Why don't we have the presidential fitness test? I think Kennedy put it in, a Democrat. I'll give you the reasons why they took it out. But wait till we hear the 3 athletes that are going to be with them. Oh, my goodness. It's a murderer's row. 855-839-1210. Jump in with Dom.
Kale and Company weekday mornings mornings 6 till 10.
Liquor and wine will likely get more expensive next year in Pennsylvania, and residents will have no choice but to pay the higher prices thanks to the state's monopoly on alcohol sales. The PLCB, Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board, which says is necessary to cover rising warehouse costs. Pennsylvania is such an archaic system, and the fact that they have a monopoly through PA, I guess I'm never going to get a fine wine and good spirits endorsement after I say all this. But then again, after 3 years, I figured it's not coming anyway.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great clients.
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher, teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. I've taken to heart many of the things that he's taught me, and my financial life has improved.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Tune in to the Crash Proof Retirement Show Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, Leslie Fisher-Pine wants a ruling here. Henry, she says is an unwritten rule. I believe the person behind you should take over if someone holds the door and a bunch more people are coming through. Wrong,
No.
Leslie. You have to hold that door. Once you're the door holder, that's it. That's your role.
You're Johnny on the spot.
You can't hold off the door to anyone else. That's it. You got to deal with it.
No, it's not. You can't have a big procession like, all right, you get it next, you get it
Yeah,
next.
right. We're not shifting doors. We're a civilization. What's happening here? It's the law of the jungle taking over.
Yeah, take the extra 20 seconds out of your day, hold the door.
You can't hand the door. I'm shocked at Leslie for saying that. All right. 855-839-1210. What is an unwritten law? Coming off Pete Rose and this whole thing with Gene Garber. I wonder what Gene Garber is doing today. By the way, just a couple of random things. We're going to talk with, as I said, Paul Morrow coming up, who I didn't know until I knew he was on today, was an inspector in the NYPD from Fox. He's also their terrorism guy, and they've been using him on the 5. Did you notice that Jack Ciattarelli has taken a cop, a sheriff? Think of a guy like Fred Herron. I think it's Morris County, as his lieutenant governor. And Mikey Sherrill, who reminds us of kind of a Jersey version of Kamala Harris, she's taken a college president as her lieutenant governor choice. Doesn't it say it all about the two parties? A cop versus a college president? Just an interesting contrast. All right, let's go to Joe in Columbus. And Joe's on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Dom, I missed your opening monologue. Did you say Kamala is staying in the race or staying in the game?
Oh, I said in the game, as far as I can tell. She's not going to run for governor. She has a new book out, 107 Days, her memoir, and she's on Colbert tonight. And I said what she's going to do, previewing the book, and to make herself right, and he'll go along, Joe, and they'll both bash Trump. I predicted Trump will do all this stuff. That's going to be the one narrative through the whole interview. That's what they'll do.
Well, knowing what I've seen, the pattern about the left, they rely on their voters, whoever they may be, having a short memory. So what I've been saying when I first initially heard that was they're going to take her out for a while to reinvent her, like she's going to come into the arena as a whole new person, forgetting how inept she was over the last year. And they rely, I mean, look at the hypocrisy, between Clinton and Obama. We got to get illegals out of here. Now all of a sudden they're for illegals. They count on their voters forgetting that.
Right. And Joe, the title of the book is to tell, if she had 214 days rather than 107, she would have done worse. She doesn't wear well.
Yeah.
It helped
and if
her.
My father, right. And, if my father was my mother, I'd have two of them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
My entry today is, and it's a great story, my entry is you do not approach another woman. You do not approach a woman if she's with a guy, whether it's a date, a husband, or whatever. And I was on my honeymoon, and we met this couple in a layover from Philly to Hawaii. We met them in Detroit. The husband was a kickboxer. And I don't even want to tell you his last name because you'll laugh. You will laugh. Yeah. It's a famous last name.
Okay.
But we walk into this bar in Honolulu, and all of a sudden, this lounge lizard guy comes up to my wife, like virtually smashing a drink in her face. This guy threw him up against the wall, against the bouncers, and the bouncers just let him go to it. And he gave him a schooling. Hey, you see her with him? I couldn't even do anything. This guy acted so fast. He threw this guy up against the wall so fast and said, "Get out of here, you piece of garbage." That
is a definite unwritten law. Thank you, Joe. And look, another one is, don't go after the family. If you're man to man particularly, or if it's a female on the other side, you don't then start attacking the kids or attacking the family, engaging in that. Everybody knows that. You don't engage in that. All right, coming up, is it a different guest? I see Perez up here. I'm not sure why. How did that get here? Okay, all right. I know it's a flaw in the system. Paul Morrow would be with us from Fox, one of their rising guys, and a new jeans ad. This time, a guy not nearly as good as Sydney Sweeney, claiming he's the king of the summer with a new drink. And we have that on YouTube, I believe. All right, Paul is next. His take on what's going on in New York around Mondani, which is a national story, here on Talk Radio 1210.
Get ready to flex like the Fanatic on Tuesday, August 5th, when kids 14 and under receive a Fanatic Big Chain presented by Terminix as the Phils take on the Orioles at 6:45. Grab tickets now at Phillies.com. It's a Phillies family reunion, and you're invited. Join us for Toyota Phillies Alumni Night on Sunday, August 3rd, when the Phillies host the Tigers at 7:10. Get tickets now at Phillies.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different.
Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
If something happens to you, what happens to your family? Will they struggle financially? Will they be able to afford the home you built together? With Ethos, you can get life insurance coverage in minutes. Get up to $2 million in coverage for as little as $2 a day. All online with no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life. Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. How's this for a novel idea? Book your next office, bachelor, bachelorette, or private party at Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glassboro, New Jersey. Bob's offers men and women trained instructors, private and closed events that can host up to 30. Book a smaller group, 10 or less during business hours, and have your own instructor for shooting range fun. Just call for pricing and details. No alcohol or drugs permitted on premises. Ladies, call Bob's now and register for their women's shooting event August 10th at 1 p.m. Bob's also offers private and group lessons on introduction to firearms, shooting and cleaning classes. Bob's instructors are certified NRA and range safety officers. Firearms ID cards are not required for anyone attending events, and no previous experience is necessary. Bob's also hosts shooting events throughout the year for anyone interested in learning about proper firearm ownership. Visit bobslittle-sportshop.com, bobslittle-sportshop.com on Delsea Drive in Glassboro. This ad sponsored by Bob's Little Sports Shop.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, Tom Giordano's show. Too many cooks in the kitchen here, so I got the wrong Paul. But Paul Perez is with us. Paul Perez, thanks to the RNC, is the National Border Patrol Council president, and he and the Border Patrol deserve a big victory lap. We ought to do it right around the border. Let's bring Paul in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Paul, welcome to Philadelphia. Let's give you a moment of a victory lap here. Great work by everybody.
Hey, it's good to be with you. Thank you for having me on, and I can tell you our Border Patrol agents are doing a fantastic job. They're happy to be working for President Trump, and it's only going to get better from here.
What is it explicitly? Was it catch and release? Is that the biggest change, not doing that? What is it explicitly, Paul, that you and they were turned loose to do?
That was the biggest policy change. He turned off the magnet. The end of catch and release let everybody know that if they came and they were apprehended, they were going to be deported or they were going to be detained. No more catch and release, no more free rides into the interior of the country. And so that had the deterrent effect that we knew it would once President Trump put that into place. That was the biggest policy change. The other was remain in Mexico, which meant if you're going to claim asylum, you can do so, but you're going to stay in Mexico. You're not going to get a free ride. You're not going to be able to hang out in the United States while your claim is adjudicated. So those two policy changes were great. But one of the biggest things was he allowed us to do the job that we were hired to do. He took us out of the processing role and actually put us in enforcement, deterrence, and detection role that we wanted to do.
Paul, with all that being said, look, I'm a big fan of the wall, and I've been to the border a couple of times. And the time that I was there, only 7 people were apprehended. And this was El Paso. And the reason was I went out with them. My God, how effective it was. It wasn't even during the Trump years. The Biden years were a sieve. Would the wall still be necessary going forward? And how is that going? Is there any more of it built?
Yeah, so we started building wall right away. We started repairing some of the wall. We started putting in the gates that close the gap. And yeah, absolutely, everywhere we have a wall, and you know just as well as everybody else, we don't have a wall from Brownsville to San Diego. We have it where we need it, where our frontline agents have determined this is exactly where we need it so that we can control when and where people cross. You know, depending on the manpower that we have available, we can flood a zone or we can let the wall do its work, which is to deter people from coming in that area. So it is effective, it works, and we're building more of it.
The scariest part toward the end of Biden, or the last couple of years at least, Paul, was it wasn't just the incursions from Mexico and the numbers. It was also, you were hearing people coming from countries thousands of miles away. We were hearing the Chinese and the like, and then that ratchets up the fear of terrorism. The people that are being stopped now, do you have any sense, are they near like Mexico, Central America, or are we still seeing people try to get in from other countries?
We're still apprehending people from other countries, but nowhere near the amount of people that were coming in. I mean, we had people from over 160 countries try to make it in that we were apprehending or that we were, releasing because of the Biden administration's protocol that they had on the border. But what we did encounter was thousands of people from China, Iran, other countries that are not people that we would normally release into this country that we now have to go track down because President Biden allowed them in unvetted. Not only those countries, not only the Middle East, but we also had people from Venezuela, El Salvador, Honduras, all these countries that allowed people to come in and that were released unvetted. So he created a mess for us that ICE has to go clean up in the interior. And so the Border Patrol agents are holding the line, making sure it's safe and secure so that ICE can go into the interior. Our agents are helping them out too, as well as other agencies. But for the most part, the Border Patrol agents are doing the job that they were hired to do.
Going forward, then, near future, Paul, you're in this line of work. Give us a sense, too. Let's move from the border, what ICE is doing. Give us a sense of how difficult their role is because, as you said, there are millions of people during the Biden years let into the country, plus what was already here, and they have to go in a lawful manner and find them and remove them. Your job is defensive. Theirs has a combination of both.
Yeah, so they're doing targeted enforcement. The obvious is to check on the addresses that were given, many of which are false or many of whom have moved on because they never intended to be in the locations they said they were going to be in. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. But because ICE is doing the targeted enforcement, they're also sacking up all the people that are illegal that we can't and will not turn a blind eye to. So, the millions of people that were released, the millions of people that were already here, if you're illegal and you come across an ICE officer or Border Patrol agent, FBI, ATF, DEA, whoever else is helping us, you're going to be removed, you're going to be deported. And if you've got a criminal record and shouldn't be here, you're going to serve some time in prison. So it made it difficult because, like you said, they allowed millions of people, many of whom have gone to commit horrific crimes. But what we're also facing is lack of cooperation from these sanctuary city jurisdictions. So we have to go to the courthouses, we have to go to the jails, we have to get ICE them to honor the ICE detainers. And a lot of these jurisdictions don't want to do that. So we're having to actually wait until somebody gets released that we know they're going to release and go and scoop them up. And, you've seen videos of agents, and of course the rhetoric coming from the left is that our agents are just out there in the streets kidnapping people. What you're not seeing is everything that happens before, including the initial encounter, somebody's fleeing from our agents. Our agents aren't going to just lay down and not apprehend somebody because they run. We're going to chase them just as all law enforcement officers do. We're going to chase them. We're going to apprehend them. We're going to take them into custody. And that's what a lot of the rhetoric is coming from, because they're only putting, edited clips of our agents in masks, wearing masks for their safety, for the safety of their family, because these people are doxing our agents. So our agents have an obligation to protect themselves and their families and their fellow agents from any harm that's coming from these people on the left, a lot of whom are lunatics. So, yeah, it's happening across the country. We're taking people into custody. We're going to continue doing it. We've done more in 6 months than any other presidential administration has done in their entire term.
Absolutely. Paul, is it as low as 0 some days? Could that possibly be? The border's 2,000 miles or so.
It actually is. So, I can tell you there were days under the Biden administration that we had 10, 12, 13,000 apprehensions. There have been days where our apprehensions nationwide are less than 200, in the double digits. And so, yeah, it is the message has been the message has gotten around the world. If you come to the United States, it's not the open door policy that President Biden had. It's the end of catch and release. It's the come across, we're going to arrest you, we're going to apprehend you, detain you, deport you, or put you in prison. So that message has gotten across, and it's been very, very effective. The deterrence effect has been effective because President Trump means what he says.
Absolutely. Paul, thank you so much. Thanks for the great work that you guys are doing, and women. It is remarkable work, and I'm very glad you came on to high point it.
Thank you for your support, sir.
All right, Paul Perez here on Talk Radio 1210. The numbers are astounding. Okay, phone lines are 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All that you have to do is just push pound 1210, and we'll get you on board. Side question today, that unwritten rule. There's a million of them. Think of a really good one. And it just came off that Pete Rose thing. By the way, tip of the hat yesterday. We think it was one of the top 10 all-time side questions as far as response. I think the top 10 are the ones I came up with as far as the ingenuity. But as far as response, it's up there. Nothing will top people calling in and saying the song that Dan should dance to at his wedding with his mom. I mean, that was beyond anything we've ever really. But choosing it at the end, I got to tell you, it was very difficult. So many great girl next doors. And on that note, we now have, I don't think he's the guy next door. I don't particularly like this guy, but it's Cut 10, YouTube.com/1210 WPHT. Here is the new Dunkin' ad for the summer. It's kind of a summery drink with a guy who has a starched white shirt on some reason with swim trunks, sitting at a fancy pool, claiming he's the king of the summer, and he gets his tan, I guess. He's got good genes. It's playing off the Sweeney ad. Every time he drinks the Dunkin' Donuts nectar of the gods. Here's how it looks and how it sounds.
Look, I didn't ask to be the king of summer. It just kind of happened. This tan? Genetics. I just got my color analysis back. Guess what? Golden summer. Literally. I can't help it. Every time I drink a Dunkin' Golden Hour refresher, it's like the sun just finds me. So if sipping these refreshers makes me the king of summer, guilty as charged.
I don't think this guy is Sweeney in that.
The Golden Hour refresher.
Yeah, he's kind of obnoxious to me, but I don't know. Just
That's not real, is it?
They drink it? You think it's a parody?
No, I think it's AI.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the camera work just doesn't look real to me.
So this isn't a real guy, a real model they made. He looks real to me.
He looks real. I mean, a lot, dude. I thought I was really good at sniffing out AI.
I know.
Then I saw a video this morning of like bunnies on a trampoline. And I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. And then like immediately, like someone was like, that bunny disappears. I'm like,
okay. If he's made up,
But like, I don't know. This kind of tipped me off. Maybe I'm way too into it.
But it's a real drink, right? That
I believe. Yeah, so.
Right. They're playing off the jeans ad, the whole thing. Good jeans and the drink. Okay. The Sweeney, Sydney Sweeney ad. We have more today. We'll play you of people taking all. This is a marketing expert. I may stop this, Henry, a little bit in. This is Cut 8. You got to see this guy, youtube.com, making the point, the people who see backlash against this as woke. We're not allowed to say their work anymore. If you say this is woke, these nuts, and I have a great one, a Pilates class woman, what she would do if you like the Sweeney ad and you're in her Pilates class. Listen to this guy. You lack empathy. You lack a soul. If you're saying, yep, I'm so glad this ad was successful, woke is dead. Listen to this analysis.
So one person who weighed in on all of this was Texas Senator Ted Cruz. He wrote on X, wow, now the crazy left has come out against beautiful women. I'm sure that will pull well. That has gotten a range of reactions online. He's making, obviously, this political connection here. Talk to us about why this so-called woke culture has drawn so much backlash here in the U.S.
I think that is probably poor and lazy attribution. This had nothing to do with left-leaningness. And this had nothing to do with quote-unquote woke, at least the way woke has been repositioned and recontextualized. I think this has everything to do with meaning, how you saw it. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, that's your view on politics. Whether you are progressive in your social leanings or not, it's about what this thing communicated to you, how you translate it, how you saw it. Of course, this is considering the political backdrop and the climate of the country at the moment. This becomes a really good opportunity for a politician like Ted Cruz to jump into the discourse and point some fingers. But ultimately, at its core, this is just about how people see the world through cultural lenses and make meaning accordingly. And I think that for those who see this as a woke statement, I think this is really a lack of empathy, of realizing that the world is not objective, it's subjective, and we translate the world through our cultural lenses.
Okay, well, let's stop it right there. Okay. We all get that there's no such thing as pure objectivity. But who is it that is the offender here? It's the people reading into this ad stuff and bouncing off it and going too far. They're the ones that are making something out of this. I mean, we try to caution people on both sides. Sometimes the thing is rather minor to have this level of outrage about. And when you go around throwing the word fascism in here with everything and Hitler, then you're losing the argument. And then there's a backlash against this. And we have been through cancel culture. We have been through woke for the last 5 to 7 years or more. And people are glad when they lose one. And on this one, they lost one big time. It's a pretty simple thing. Attractive woman selling jeans. We've seen it before. Little twist, a little joke on this. That's all that's here. It's not a Rorschach test. When they make it that, though, then people like Ted Cruz are going to respond and bounce back and say, this is why you don't get it. This is why Americans, the polling, there's actually a poll on this. It's in the 70 percentile who support this ad and don't have a problem with it. All right, phone lines, and I'm coming to you. 855-839-1210.
Filing Form 2290 again? VINs, weights, EINs. What a nightmare.
Not with 2290.ai, the first AI-powered 2290 e-filing platform. Just snap or scan last year's Schedule 1 and hit submit, even if you're on the go.
Wait, with just a photo?
Yep. Our smart platform reads, validates, and files it in minutes. With real-time AI checks and instant Schedule 1 delivery, you can stay road ready and file fast.
Whoa, I just got my Schedule 1. Already?
That's right. Whether you're a solo hauler or running a fleet, smart truckers use smart tech. Just go to 2290.ai to snap or scan and submit. Anywhere, anytime.
Powered by Zenwork. Use code RADIO at checkout for 20% off your first filing. Only at 2290.ai. That's 2290.ai. With code RADIO at checkout for 20% off. 2290.ai. You know you have pride in your team when you offer a guarantee for the life of your roof. That's right, for decades and thousands of roof installations, the award-winning team at GP Martini lives for roofing. That's why homeowners trust GP Martini to protect their largest investment. Whether you're considering an asphalt, shingle roof, metal roof, or even a solar roof, you can trust GP Martini Roofing. Visit martiniroofing.com. There's probably a satisfied GP Martini customer in your neighborhood. martiniroofing.com.
At Verizon, lock in a low price on the best 5G in Philly and be the best you. Check where your ride is for your trip into the office, get that almost impossible dinner reservation, and save big with Verizon while you do it all. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. Stop by your nearest Verizon store today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming and 2G speeds. Rankings based on route metrics. Route score report dated 2H 2024. The results may vary. Additional terms apply.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louis found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louis has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louis.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Home title theft. It's on the rise and it's devastating if it happens to you. Listen to the alarming words of an actual home title thief.
I don't need to know your date of birth and social security number. All I have to do is go to public records, create a document, and file that document. And then I can borrow against the house or sell the house. You may have no clue until you find out that your house has been sold or till several loans or several banks are foreclosing on you.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. The instant they detect any tampering, you'll get an alert, and that's bad news for home title thieves. So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim with your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value free with sign up. Just go to HomeTitleLock.com and sign up in minutes. That's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. Side question today. Pete Rose, thank you very much, Pete. Unwritten rules. Guy can't throw me change-ups. I'm going after DiMaggio here. Got to throw me at least one fastball. I think he said things like that. And did he say I was betting on myself? I mean, I wasn't betting. All right. Let's go to Bill in Bucks. Let's see this unwritten rule. I may be violating it. I think that's a reason for it. Bill, go right ahead.
I think you might be. Anyway, I just wanted to say that a website is up and running now called Doug for Gov. So.
I got to get right on that.
It's active. It's active. So somebody better talk him off the ledge. It'll either be Rebbe or the president, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
maybe talk to Greg Rossman, see what he says.
Yeah, he's coming on next week, I believe. And,
is he? Okay.
Yeah. I think we have Stacy Garrity on today. So, Bill, give us your side because it plays into what you and I are talking about.
Yeah, I know. Now it's the 11th commandment, and I'm invoking Ronald Reagan again. Thou shalt not speak ill of other republicans.
All right. And I would say it's like anything else. I'm not signing off on a suicide pact. I'm going to say everything I possibly can and in any way stop Doug Mastriano because I want to save the country. And this guy will not only lose Pennsylvania, and you know it and I know it, he'll lose those congressional seats.
I know that too. And that'll make the president a lame duck.
Yeah.
For 2 years. That's exactly what's going to happen unless
right.
somebody talks reasoning into him. But he's hell-bent on going because he's got 25%, like I've said before.
So other than Stacy Garrity, who else would jump in if she does not then to stop? Who would Republicans tag in, do you think?
Boy, that's a tough one. Dave Sunday's not ready.
Right.
But he's on the path. It is very rare for a state treasurer to jump into governor.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very rare movement. It's usually the state AG. Okay.
Right. Yes.
Just like Shapiro and Corbett and all the rest of them. So my opinion is You know, and ask Guy Shiraki. He's coming up in a few minutes.
Yep.
You know, I mean, and I remember him from when he was chief of staff for Lieutenant Governor Foley.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, Guy's coming up. I mean, I know the attention we have. What is Trump doing at this moment? It's unbelievable. I'm going to talk to you about reviving the presidential fitness test. I'm going to tell you why they took it out. And the reason is, it's too competitive for kids. I'm going to give you some of the stats. Here's one. If you're 17 under this, they say you should be able to run a mile in 6 minutes and 6 seconds. The best I've ever done, and this was running with David Petraeus, who was a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
I came close to 8 minutes, and then I threw up. And he's going, it looks like Dom can't keep up. I don't run 3 miles at the pace these guys were. Henry, by the third mile, every bit of will, we're running over paths with women who were Rhodes Scholars holding Uzis up.
Oh, man.
And he's running, just talking to me about running for president on a base. And he was the number one target, one of the number one targets in the world with snipers and all. Looks like Dom will have to go back to the camp here.
Dom's got to fall out.
Oh, my God. And I was doing everything I could. How much more could they go? Well, they went 5 miles. I knew I couldn't do it. It was either die or go home.
Yeah.
So 6 minutes and 6 seconds. Do we have anybody out there that can run a mile in 6 minutes and 6 seconds? Why was the presidential fitness test taken out? The president at the White House today is putting it back in. We'll talk about that. But with Guy Shiraki, we're going to ask Guy, what do we do so that Doug Mastriano is not the nominee? Remember, we're not just talking about defeating Josh Shapiro. If he's the nominee, he will drag down every Republican on the ticket. And these congressional races in Pennsylvania, they're going wild. I would suspect they're going to try to pump up Doug Mastriano Democrats by millions of dollars. You saw what he did the last time. Have you forgotten? Not only that, Josh Shapiro will run around saying, look, they love me in Pennsylvania. You ought to make me president. This must be stopped. All right. I hope Guy Shiraki has some names of what will happen here to stop this if Stacy Garrity doesn't run this time. It can't be, can it? Doug for Gov? 855-839-1210.
United Tire. Reliability when you need it most.
I was in a bind before leaving for a road trip, and they were able to help me right away. Thank you so much for fixing my tire last minute. Super accommodating staff. Would highly recommend.
And another recent reviewer said,
first time here and was a very pleasant experience. Clean lobby, professional staff. This is my auto service place now.
Find your auto and tire service center. United Tire. All locations and more at unitedtire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
I'm Jalen Hurst here for Window Nation. If you're a fan of saving money, listen up.
Save with Window Nation's best deal yet. Get 50% off all window styles, plus no interest until 2030. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com before July 31st. Tell them you heard it on 1210 WPHT.
Don't pay more than you have to for new windows. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device. Work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers. And stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Nobody knows Pennsylvania politics better than Guy Shiraki and how it impacts the whole country. Guy has been writing about we've talked about Northeast Philadelphia, the changes there as far as pro-Trump stuff. Just saw this piece, though, and I'll give you the details on it. We'll talk about it. Lincoln High School now has been so overrun by new students coming to Lincoln that they are going to bring in, and I'll have to pull up the exact, it's an enormous number of trailers. It's going to be like a trailer park there at Lincoln. And people in the neighborhood are saying, what? 900 students in trailers. I believe a lot of them are here illegally, coming from around the world. And so do people there in Northeast Philadelphia. They're saying, can you imagine how ghastly this will look? As it is now, you have people eating lunch at like 9:30 or something. At Lincoln. Just think of all the tax dollars you pay, and then you're inundated with people that are probably here illegally, at least a good number of them. But I want to talk to Guy first about this Doug for Gov stuff. And remember, I mean, I don't know that anybody knows. Stacy Garrity, who's on at 2:30 today, probably doesn't know yet. She's leaning one way or the other. I hear all kinds of conflicting things. She'd be a hell of a candidate. Got to get out of this notion that Josh Shapiro can't be beaten. Based on what? Now, Guy may differ with me. He is very difficult. I'm in agreement. But he can't be beaten. I think that's why Muser dropped out. Who else is there if Stacy Garrity doesn't run? Doug Mastriano. Mastriano's name, I've clipped this week, is in 10 national Politico, a lot of them. And when, and I'm going to ask Guy, when Shapiro just said which side he's on, with girls having to play against boys, the side that says, oh, what's wrong with that? He says, I'm not going to let a bunch of extremists try to pass this Fairness in Women's Sports Act, like Donald Trump, Doug Mastriano. Notice what he's doing. Well, first of all, it's about 30 women that are the sponsors of that act. Is this really going on in Pennsylvania? Is there a different universe out there? All right, let's go to Guy here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Guy, welcome back.
Good afternoon.
Well, Guy, thought you'd be able to tell us if Stacy Garrity does not run, does that mean with pretty good certitude it's going to be Doug Mastriano?
Well, Stacy has her own timeline, and I think she's going about this thoughtfully, unlike the current governor, who's always ready to go for the next rung. I think Stacy's being thoughtful about it. So let's give Stacy some time. I think she knows she needs to get going by the fall in order to ramp up so she's ready for 26. And I don't know where we go if not Stacy, but Stacy shouldn't do it because of that. Stacy should do it because she thinks she's ready to run the race and offer the contrast. And look, the one thing to this, Josh can't be beaten. Look, he's a great fundraiser and a wonderful politician in the worst sense of the word. But the truth is, he's been sort of under a political, guardian angel. The toughest race he's ever really run was his first run for the state house in the early days, 3 decades ago, when Montgomery County was just switching from red to blue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he essentially walked into the commissioner's office as the Republicans were falling apart and fighting. He was basically given the attorney general slot because he convinced everybody he really wanted to be U.S. Senator, but he was willing to be attorney general as a consolation prize, and then handpicked his own Republican by spending $1 million to alter the outcome of the Republican primary. He then didn't debate his opponent. So he didn't take, he really hasn't had to stand at a podium and be asked questions. And I think we've seen the few times he's asked questions about the scandal in his cabinet, about women, men and women's sports, he gets angry and snaps. So I don't think it's at all crystal clear that he automatically wins, because I don't know that he's sort of a paper champion. He really,
all right, but Guy, let me come back to it, though.
He hasn't been challenged.
Look, the Rothman is doing great work as far as I can tell, particularly on voter registration coming on next week. You mean there's no contingency plan, though? We're going to sit here. And again, Guy, I respect Pennsylvania and all, but I'm looking at the stuff I read every day. Politico alone, the name Doug Mastriano again and again and again. Is it the media trying to force that in because they know how damaging that could be? Or do you think if Stacy Garrity, which I think is reasonable, she may not run, that it would be Mastriano? He has that solid core of people. He says he'll only get out if Trump tells him to get out. I'm asking, are there any other names out there? Dave Sunday, the interviews I've done, is wonderful, but I guess he wouldn't be ready to run yet.
Yeah, so I think there are a number of names that people are talking about, but I think right now the focus is on Stacy. Right. And I think everybody that's serious about running the race where we can win and grow the party, not just play defense, but where we can win and grow the party, the focus is on Stacy. So there are contingencies. There are other people who've expressed interest or who we believe party leaders could approach, from members of Congress to members of the legislature to folks that are known in the party.
Okay.
But I think right now the focus is let's give Stacy the room to do this so that she does it for the right reasons, and then get rallied around her. Because as you said, it is not simply about the governor's mansion, which is vitally important to school choice. It's vitally important to taxes. It's vitally important to energy. It is about the Pennsylvania House being 1 seat away from a Republican majority, and it's about protecting the U.S. House. The U.S. Congress, we have the House by 4 seats. There are arguably 4 seats in Pennsylvania that could flip. We will protect the majority. The voters of Pennsylvania and the voters of America have to decide, is President Trump going to get to finish his job, or are we going to spend the next 2 years dealing with impeachment after impeachment? We need a strong ticket so that we can fight Josh and turn the state around, but also to protect the majority so we can focus on inflation, the border, and the thing. If you lose McKenzie, Bresnahan, Scott Perry, who continues to be the focus of the Democrats' ire, the whole nation changes right in our state. So it's imperative that we put our best foot forward. And look, I don't want to be pessimistic. Think about if a year from now, if those seats are protected, the state Republicans take the House back and we elect a Republican governor. Think of what that means for school choice and for energy and for taxes and the money that comes out of our pocket. The life in Pennsylvania changes dramatically for the better if we get our act together.
Well, without a doubt, Guy, without a doubt. So, Guy, the other thing with Shapiro, I was away last week, didn't have a chance. We would have called you. Has he taken a position on the trans issue now? It seems to me that he has, and I'm surprised the chameleon has taken the bait here a little bit. What's your take?
My guess is if I had to bet $1, he'd veto the bill, or he'll come up with something. I have a column that is today in Broad and Liberty with Representative Joe Diorsi from Central Pennsylvania, who asked to co-author a story with me. Look, the bottom line is he did the Shapiro shuffle. Slick Shapiro, like we had Slick Willie. This is Slick Shapiro. He gets the question. He gets angry, yells at Republicans, calls it extremist, denying the fact that 5 Democrats in the Senate voted for it. 5 Democrats in the Senate actually voted for it, including the brand new state senator from Lancaster County, who's supposed to be their great hope. He voted for the bill. And then he offers this, I don't know, I haven't read the bill. I mean, that's bull. He hasn't read the bill.
Sure.
He doesn't need to examine this bill. You don't need a team of lawyers. It's pretty straightforward. Should 18-year-old men race against 16 or 18-year-old girls? Should 18-year-old men spike volleyballs in the face of 18-year-old girls? Should 18-year-old men go in the locker rooms with 18-year-old? You don't need a team of lawyers. You need to be a dad, and you need to have common sense and say no. But he gives those answers, which gives him wiggle room. And see, a Stacy Garrity means he doesn't get to have wiggle room. So I think at the end of the day, he vetoes the bill because he's more concerned about winning the Iowa caucus than he is about governing. He's more concerned about the teachers union than he is about really what's best for kids. So, but he gave that typical answer: yell at Republicans, rail against Donald Trump, and then give this sort of mushy answer where everybody looks and goes, "What did he say? I don't know, but he looked good doing it."
School choice doesn't appear to be front on the agenda, but he's going to have a big choice to make. And that is, as governor, and we've told listeners this, guy, but I found a wrinkle yesterday I wanted to run past you, that under the big, beautiful bill, that $5 billion that will go to parents and kids to make a choice, each governor, blue state, red state, will have to say yay or nay to sign in on it. The guy I was interviewing is the guy that was the lobbyist, if you will, for 3 years, who got it through. He made the point under the big, beautiful bill that public schools can set up one of the nonprofit, the 503c, something of that nature, get money under that bill for computers and tutoring. So not only will they not lose money, they can take advantage of it, just like the school choice part. When he told me that, now the media is not going to report that, I find that to be a really salient point to lock in that they're captive of the teachers union when they can actually help the public schools under the big, beautiful bill.
I'll go a step further. About a third today in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has the largest tax credit. We have the Pennsylvania version of what President Trump put into law by honoring his commitment to school choice. Pennsylvania has the largest tax credit program in the nation. This would allow people who donate to Pennsylvania to not only get a Pennsylvania tax credit, but a national one. A third of the organizations today, Dom, are public school district based, including one in my home community in Tredyffrin Easttown, including some local libraries that offer learning programs. So it is not simply about keeping St. Monica's open or keeping Newman Goretti open or helping the parents in South Philly. This is about public schools too and public school districts. Look, most of the children being helped do go to a non-public school, but a bunch of them do go to public schools, and it helps them get textbooks. It helps them get tutoring. It helps them get assistance if they're dyslexic. So, look, but that doesn't mean the teachers union isn't going to yell, and they've already made some noise that they don't like it. Again, this will be a Shapiro moment. The man who went on national television and said, I want to help all of God's children succeed. Well, he vetoed his first chance to do it. He's cut funding to cyber schools. He's going to get a third bite at the apple. Is he really supportive of it? This is simple. He just has to send a letter to the Treasury Department and say Pennsylvania opts in. Therefore, thousands of kids get help, whether they go to Southern or Newman or St. Monica's. All he has to do is opt in and help kids. If he doesn't, he clearly has his eye on the Iowa caucus and not on Pennsylvania kids.
Exactly. Guy, current column, you talked about one coming up. Where's your current column?
So I've wanted Broad and Liberty today with Representative Diorsi from York County on Shapiro's non-answer. and I'm going to have one next week. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk about it. Our friends in Chester County, the Chester County Commissioners, have just hired a chief experience officer to see how citizens are experiencing their interaction. They are paying her $164,000 a year because they think that they are untouchable. So my next column in Real Clear, Pennsylvania will be on Chester County's chief experience officer, which is bad to write about it because our friends in Delaware County and Montgomery County will be quick to hire one too and pay her even more money. So we got to watch national politics, we got to watch state politics, but we got to watch these county governments because they feel emboldened and they're out of control.
Absolutely, Guy. Thank you. Where do we follow you on Twitter?
PA Suburbs Guy. Hey, I have my custom. Can I share my custom as a coach?
Oh, sure.
What we're supposed to do. So the unwritten rule for coaching youth is that when you get up to about an 8, 9, or 10 run lead in an inning and you're hammering, you're supposed to start having your runners step off base illegally or do other things to end the inning early as a courtesy to the other team and not rub 11 or 12-year-old girls' noses in it and not have the inning go on for hours. So it's a code among coaches. You don't do it. And the ones who don't and sometimes score 15, 20 runs in an inning when the game's essentially over, they're violating the code. So that's one of our coaching codes is you take the win, you run up the score, but there's a point where you end the inning as a gesture of sportsmanship.
All righty, Guy. Thank you very much. Henry, do you endorse that? I can't tell somebody to make an out.
What isn't that what the mercy rule's for? Like,
yeah, right.
I mean, I remember in baseball, it's if you have a 10-run lead after 4 innings, or if you have a 15-run lead after 3, it's over.
Right. I don't think I can endorse the out thing.
I'm not getting out. No. Make the game over. Like,
exactly.
Get to the run threshold, and then you know if you want to start, getting out on purpose.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I can't coach that. No. I mean, I would just bench you for your life if you're rubbing it in by bat flipping or making some.
You can't make a mockery of it.
Mockery, yeah. But telling them to step up the base, no. All right. That doesn't mean it's not an unwritten law. There's a side to that, though.
We're running through the finish line, kids. We're not stopping right up in front of it and then stepping over.
Coming up, and again, the Inquirer is tepid here. The school, at Lincoln High School, Storey High School, right? It was built for 1,700 students. Nearly 2,500 were jammed in last school year. So what have they done at Lincoln High School right up there in Northeast Philadelphia? Well, I'm looking for the exact number here. They will put in the trailers. Have you ever seen the trailers? They will put in how many? I have to get it. How many they're going to put in here, and then they will connect the trailers to the school so you don't have to walk outside. It's going to look like a prison and god awful. And what's the reason? I think it's illegal immigration. Are people going there legally, coming from all over the world? Why are they going to Northeast Philadelphia? There's a lot of reasons for that. Let me give you the detailed 22 here, Henry.
Yeah, 22.
22.
Trailers.
Wow. 22 trailers. And these are big trailers. They're like our studios. My God, how god awful.
Yeah, that'd be so bad.
That's why people, what do they say? Oh, trailer park. Lincoln High School is a trailer park.
Quite literally, yes.
Quite literally a trailer park now, or a prison, depending on how it looks. I have to ask Greg, I'd love to do a show outside the trailer park and ask kids how they're feeling going to a trailer every day. And is it because of illegal immigration? Mayfair again. Mayfair is one of those communities, it's kind of the canary in the coal mine. If that withstands, then it tells you things are pretty much okay. If it doesn't, it tells you it's going to get worse. If you're in Northeast Philadelphia, I'd love to hear from you, though. The high school neighbors oppose this for overcrowding, and they're being told, shut up. This is the Philadelphia Public Schools. That's right, 22 trailer spaces, bathrooms, office support space. The price tag is $11 million. A simple question. Are you here legally? Well, why should that matter? They have to be educated. They say they're non-English speakers. Does that seem like legal? 855, I think to be legal, you might have to pass some English tests. 855-839-1210. I'll also tell you about the presidential fitness test is coming back. Is that a good thing? I think it's an excellent thing. Why did we get rid of it? I'll explain. President Trump in the Oval Office with that today. 855-839-1210.
Walter Sterling.
President, vice president, whatever it is. All they have to do in one of their planks of their platform is say, and I will do whatever I have to do in my power to get the tolls taken down. They will win.
Sterling. Every damn night. Sunday through Friday nights at 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. Again, that's 800-380-9012.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
There's a reason the potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
All right, here's what the Philadelphia Inquirer, Dom Giordano, says about the 22 trailers they're going to be bringing in for the entire freshman class coming up. They say the growth in large part is driven by immigration. There's been an influx of immigrants from all over the world moving to Mayfair and the surrounding neighborhoods. 40% of Lincoln students last year were English language learners. The overcrowding has created chaotic conditions inside the school and outside. There are not enough lockers or cafeteria space, so many students have to carry all their belongings all day. Some are assigned to eat lunch at 9 a.m. Hey, kid, put that breakfast sandwich down. It's lunchtime. 9 a.m. lunch. My God. Hallways are often disorderly, and the district spent $400,000 to carve the library up into 6 classrooms with dividers, flimsy walls that don't go up to the ceiling and allow noise to carry between classes. Trailers were the solution. The plan is to put Lincoln's 900 ninth graders into the space with the modular classrooms connected to the main building via an enclosed hallway so students don't have to travel outside to get to the cafeteria or gym. Neighbor Peter McDermott filed the zoning challenge, charging that the city's licenses and inspections erroneously issued a permit for the trailers without making the district go through the special exception process that it would have required a zoning hearing and community notification. He's active in Mayfair civic associations and democratic politics. The neighbors are upset because the neighborhood was pretty much in the dark. This is violation, curb appeal, and everything else that goes into this. Well, how many of these people vote for Democrats? What's the party of illegal immigration? How many of these students at Lincoln? Oh, it's just Mayfair is such a garden spot around the world that everybody that came into the country legally, they wanted to go to Mayfair. Are we supposed to believe that? Or is this a classic? We told you about this about a year ago. Now 22 trailers to put in. Now, Republicans have started to do better there. Joe Picozzi, that young guy we had on around this, Inquirer would have you, oh, it's booming. It's just immigration. And they're all landing in this one spot here. Is that likely? Or am I right? This is another example of what goes on in a country without borders. And again, these people are being made to suffer and deal with this. The problem is a lot of them still vote for Democrats. When that 14-year-old young guy was killed, remember that? We had a big rally there. Bill McSwain spoke. I spoke in Mayfair at the 5 Points about Krasner, et cetera. These people still turned around. There was a special election for state senate. They voted for a goofball state senator over a guy who would have gone to Harrisburg explicitly to challenge what Krasner's doing. Are you still going to vote for Democrats? I mean, what kind of life is this that your kid is having a lunch at 9 a.m., that the entire freshman class now will go to school in trailers? The entire freshman class. Is this due to, we're everybody in the world wants to come to Mayfair legally. Oh, it's all legal. Everything's legal here. Let's go to Frank in Ben Salem. Frank's on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Frank.
Hey, Dom. I'm a PIAA official in two sports.
Okay.
One being soccer, and I go to Lincoln. And the last several years I've been down there, when you go to talk to the coach, the pregame and all that stuff, you know what he tells me, Dom? He tells me the players don't understand English.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, wait a minute. The players don't understand English. I says, obviously, as an official, we give hand signs, but we also, hey, corner kick or goal kick or whatever the case may be.
So what do you have to do then? What do you have to do?
I mean, I don't know. It's like I don't understand them, and some of them maybe speak in English, but they don't talk to me in English. And then again, they could be saying things about, hey, that was a bad call.
Yeah, but how do you, as an official, do you have to speak?
Talking back and forth. But that's the issue that you're bringing up right now. Who is paying for those students to go to school? Because obviously I don't live in the city, okay, but somebody's paying for them. The people in Philadelphia are paying for them.
Yes.
And why aren't they just outraged and say, hey, wait a minute. You don't speak.
Frank, we've been doing this, and we know which party. We know which party is the party of this stuff. How can you let your kid go to school at 9 a.m. and not be eating lunch at 9 a.m. and not be outraged?
Yeah, I mean, what are they learning, first of all? If they're here illegally, which I think many of them are, and even if they're not, and they're trying to get an education, what are they learning if they can't speak English? Do we have all bilingual teachers that are teaching in Spanish or Mexican or Venezuelan or whatever? No, they are not learning, and then they just push them through, and when they get out, what does that mean for us?
Yeah,
More
exactly.
money being paid
Right.
for benefits.
That's a good point. Frank, what's the other sport that you're an official in?
I just listened to Guy. I do softball,
Okay.
and what he said, we love that as umpires who give us the wink. She's off the base. I got an out. She left too early.
Oh, God.
Don, wait, you got to understand this. The athleticism in some of the students, it would just blow your mind. Like when they pop fly goes up and you're saying to yourself, please catch it, please catch it. It's an out.
I've been a referee, so I know what you're talking about. Thank you.
Guy said is we do that because the 15-run rule doesn't come in effect. You got to have 15 runs after 3.
Oh,
sometimes it could be 15 runs, but it's only the second inning, so you got to get through 3 innings, and then those 3 innings could last an hour and a half.
Thank you, Frank. All right. Henry and I are being a little harsh here. It still goes against the core. A wink. She's going to be stepping off there. Let that go. Oh, my God. There's something about that, though, just is self-defeating in sports. I mean.
I get it. You don't want to be out there all day, doing whatever. But at the same time, I don't want to let up. I don't want to let my foot off the gas.
Well, the solution is maybe you shouldn't have a team in the league. You got to have a certain parity here, a certain standard of. I want them to play, but if not really playing in every game, are they just that bad, or they're not being coached? They don't care, and the other teams are powerhouse. I don't get it.
Sometimes it's coaching. Sometimes it's just you don't have enough kids in your area.
Yeah, might be
things like that.
All right, we'll go easy on Guy putting that unwritten rule down. He's got an official. Imagine they come up, hey, you might want to do hand signals today. A lot of these kids are not going to understand what you're telling them in soccer. But I would tell you a sign here, too. If the soccer team has more people coming out than, say, the football team, that might be indicative of something going on here. Yeah. So is Mayfair just this beacon that people from around the world are legally going through the process and ending up in? Or is it a good bit of illegal immigration? And again, I've said this many times with Anne Marie up in Mayfair. We had a special election. Sam Oropesa, who was a champion in the UFC or mixed martial arts, was running on a great platform, special election. They still vote for the Democrat after they see the carnage of Krasner. Well, if you keep on voting for Democrats, you're going to get 22 trailers. Ungodly. I got to get up there to see this, to see the construction and what's going on the weekend, put some stuff up on Twitter. 22 trailers. You know how big these are, what this looks like? Kids eating lunch at 9 a.m. Why do you keep voting for it? It's just inertia.
I had that lunch one year.
9 a.m.?
It was like 9:30, 9:45.
Well, I've heard that, yes.
Yeah.
I understand sometime, but 9 a.m. it says.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I mean, it's right.
You're not eating breakfast.
No, right.
Yeah.
You're starting it. We're going to extremes here of stuff that's going on here. Oh, it's unavoidable. No, it's not. Just enforce the immigration. You mean to say they'd be eating lunch at 9 a.m. if they were enforcing immigration laws? And I would say no. You wouldn't have a 9 a.m. lunch. It's staggering the number of people there. And you just heard an official. English, you might want to go easy on that today, official. We have to just do hand signals. A lot of going back and forth with President Trump and talking to the Mexican president. And we may not see the tariff put into play tomorrow, the tariffing of Mexico. There might be some kind of an arrangement going on. I got a lot to update you on. It's stuff as the continuing story with Tulsi Gabbard and those documents, Russian collusion. We'll get to all that. We got Stacy Garrity here. But this Lincoln story is a broader story. And the broad story is should be unacceptable to people anywhere. And the Northeast Philadelphia is one of the neighborhoods trying to hang on. Mayfair is the classic. Also, with Guy, I hope there are a contingency list. Doug Mastriano cannot be our nominee. I'm telling you right here and now, don't get your head just caught up in what Trump does every day and all that. If we get knocked out of the box congressionally here, and he agreed with me, 3 or 4 races that are going to be close, then you're not going to have the House most likely. That's how damaging this is. How did we get to this point? Now, I'm hoping Trump is really moving heaven and earth to get past the midterms. I think we stand an outstanding chance to keep the House in the midterms. We're certainly going to keep the Senate. And that means the good times roll on. But if Doug Mastriano has his way, he is going to lose us the House or make it incredibly difficult to keep. Be more overt. That's my message. I'm tired of the, just be more overt. Tell this guy, no, you're not going to be the nominee. You had your shot. We did it your way, the craziness. And look at what happened. Josh Shapiro won by 15 points. We lost the House in Pennsylvania. We got to deal with all that stuff. You're not going to lose the Trump agenda. On the upside, I'm lighting the candles that Mondami wins in New York. Because if he does, which I think he will, he's going to be in every Republican ad possible. And he's going to help us immeasurably. The 2 M's, remember. Mastro, no. Mondami, yes. That's the ticket to moving the country forward. All right, 855-839-1210.
Oh, filing Form 2290 again? VINs, weights, EINs. What a nightmare.
Not with 2290.ai, the first AI-powered 2290 e-filing platform. Just snap or scan last year's Schedule 1 and hit submit, even if you're on the go.
Wait, with just a photo?
Yep. Our smart platform reads, validates, and files it in minutes. With real-time AI checks and instant Schedule 1 delivery, you can stay road ready and file fast.
Whoa, I just got my Schedule 1. Already?
That's right. Whether you're a solo hauler or running a fleet, smart truckers use smart tech. Just go to 2290.ai to snap or scan and submit. Anywhere, anytime.
Powered by Zenwork. Use code RADIO at checkout for 20% off your first filing. Only at 2290.ai. That's 2290.ai. With code RADIO at checkout for 20% off. 2290.ai.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The most important part of your financial future is the firm you choose. You see, all financial firms are not the same. Traditional firms that sell securities can't guarantee income and are vulnerable to bankruptcies, market losses, capital gains taxes, and ongoing fees. But the exclusive crash-proof retirement system continues to protect over 6,000 clients from market losses and bankruptcies, and provides guaranteed tax-favored income with the potential for double-digit interest returns with no fees whatsoever. Our one-of-a-kind proprietary system continues to protect billions of dollars in assets. Are you in or near retirement? There's only one crash-proof retirement for the American retiree. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Downingtown Country Club on August 20th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
You've got to see Scott Kia's new location in Limerick. With their focuses on you. Relax with an easy, transparent, and enjoyable car buying experience. With a stunning new showroom, a state-of-the-art service center, and a staff that understands your time is valuable and will treat you like a VIP. It's time to experience what a 5-star service truly feels like. They are focusing on you, and that's changing everything. And that's why it's always smooth sailing at Scott Kia of Limerick, just off Route 422.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
A flood watch is in effect today as a slow-moving cold front approaches the Delaware Valley. Watch out for some strong to severe storms this afternoon with flash flooding possible. High temperature up around 90. Tonight, chance for some showers and storms, especially early with a low 68. And for Friday, some early morning showers, otherwise partly to mostly cloudy and cooler with a high 76.
Weather sponsored by MTRule.com, your Generac generator experts. That's MTRUHL.com.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Yeah, get into that trailer, kids. Yes. We got lunch coming up. It's 9 a.m. Be ready. Lincoln High School. Is it the rail splitters, I believe?
Oh, man. Well, they have train cars out there.
The thing I always identify with Lincoln is I was at Newman then, and we beat the Larry Cannon-led Lincoln Rail Splitters in the finals. The public league used to play the Catholic. I don't think they do anymore.
Oh, they should.
Yeah, they should. And they had a thing called the Nakatoa rule, which said you can stay in the game even after 5 fouls.
No
but I think
way.
there was a technical, the Nakatoa rule.
Oh, my
How can I not remember that? So Larry Cannon must have had 18 fouls, but they weren't taking him out.
That's crazy.
He averaged 1 year in the ABA at least, I think, 25 points. I mean, he was
Man.
I had to guard him at LaSalle when I tried out for the team. They were number 2 in the country. And I don't take offensive fouls, thank God, because you got to imagine a guy back then, 6'5", 225, really fast, handling the ball. I mean, it was almost unheard of. Versus today, you would find guys like that. Yeah, so that's my identification with Lincoln. But now, should Lincoln change her name from the Rail Splitters to the Lincoln Trailers? Would be a good act. You know, they come out with uniforms, U-Haul on it, in the front and back. They could help the school make money. They make these fancy trailers, lavish trailers that are going to be there. What kind of school district, what kind of city does this? A place where people in Northeast Philadelphia complain about this, and they're right, and then they just say, where do I vote for the next Democrat? That's exactly what's happening here. All right, Unwritten Rules coming off this day in history with Pete Rose. Jim and Marcus Hook. Hey, Jim, good afternoon. What do you have today?
The sport is long-distance running. You were talking about trying to run a 6-minute mile, and you couldn't do it.
Yes.
The unwritten rule is, and I had to learn this the hard way too, but all your listeners could gain from this is when you're trying to run really far, and especially quickly, don't breathe through your mouth.
Okay. I would agree with that.
If you do,
yeah.
It makes you throw up. You mentioned throwing up from running, and I'm telling you, it happened to me too. And now I find that I can run further and even faster if I just follow this one simple rule.
All right, that's good, Jim. Now, Jim, but with presidential fitness test, we're going to give more details on that. I'll tell why it was knocked out. The average 17-year-old to pass or be in the range of passing has to run a mile in 6 minutes and 6 seconds. Think of the average.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, think of the average, say, class like Lincoln, 1,000 kids coming in the door. I would think maybe 5 of them are going to run a 6-minute mile. What would you say?
I would say that if you still had the presidential award, probably more of them would be able to do it. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm saying right now, how many kids are running a 6-minute mile?
Not zero.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close. That's a good rule. Yeah, I think at Lincoln, if I were at the trail, I can find somebody running a 6-minute mile.
No, there's definitely a handful, but I'd
Yeah,
say a
right.
lot of people would fail.
Oh, yeah.
At least half.
Yeah. I mean, that is a pretty good time. And
like, I wouldn't make it.
the push-ups, I have it here. So maybe you can pull it up on your screen there too, Henry, the presidential fitness test. And the president doing this at the White House today. Here's the reason why, first, when we're giving you some of the details. Here's some of the reasons why it generated, why it was taken out, and Trump is bringing out, it was called the challenge. It was said that the presidential fitness was discontinued because it was perceived as overly competitive, potentially discouraging students, and not effectively promoting overall health and fitness. The test was replaced with the Fitnessgram, which focuses on individual progress and healthier lifestyle rather than competition, comparison and competition. Well, how the heck else? And you know what this is like? It's the same thing with the American Eagle Act. They don't like it because body positivity was in Dove commercials and everything else. Nothing wrong with that. But should we say that you can't have a woman wearing jeans that has a good genetics or works out furiously to look that good? So the presidential fitness test being revived today. Now, even I have to admit, it's amazing who Trump is going to have with him there to announce it's being put back in the public schools. The question is, how many public schools will do this? I say a lot of them will reject it. All right, he's going to have Bryson DeChambeau. He's going to have Harrison Butker, and he's going to have Lawrence Taylor, and he's going to have some UFC kickboxer, I think, that are the proponents of presidential fitness. I need to hear from somebody, particularly a female. I'd love to hear it. You never did it, did you, Andrew? Presidential fitness thing? Was it in school where you were?
I was homeschooled.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if they have for homeschooling. I'm marking that down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dom's saving that in his back pocket.
I'm saving that. Yeah, you know, I'm a collector of nuggets. That's what talk radio is about. The nugget. That's a juicy nugget. Henry, you didn't do it, did you?
No, I did it, but it wasn't the presidential fitness test. It was just my gym teacher freshman year of high school was like, we're doing it.
Oh,
it's just my
something.
own thing. Yeah.
And what did you have to do? Do you remember?
It was push-ups.
How many? Time and how many?
They didn't matter. He was just trying to rank us.
Okay.
It wasn't necessarily a threshold.
How many did you do?
I did 65. I still
Where
remember
did that rank?
Towards the top.
Okay.
Good but then, you. I was also at the bottom because I only did one pull-up.
Well, the pull-up, I say this all the time. Charlie Gasparino from Fox is, when he comes on, he does like 40 pull-ups or something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's not just strength. It's also the rhythm of it. I watch guys, and I wish I could do the high. I have to use the thing that pushes you up a little bit to do the pull-ups. Yeah. I can do 30 of them then, but, you know, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
But that one pulling yourself up is really hard.
Oh, definitely. That and, like, the vertical jump, which isn't in the presidential fitness test, but I remember doing that. Like,
okay.
I can't jump.
Okay.
Never could.
Oh, I remember that nugget. I'll file that away.
You want to talk about not taking offensive fouls, man.
Yeah.
I wall up.
Yeah, okay. All right, so it's 6.06 to run a mile in is the one I pulled out. The push-ups and pull-ups are in there. Why did we get rid of it? They said it was too comparative and too competitive. They don't want you comparing against others. Well, how do you know how well you're doing? It's the same people that say don't have a valedictorian. So Trump is putting that back into the public schools today by executive order. Now, will they follow it? I think most of these schools will not, particularly the Philadelphia public schools. They're not going to be doing this and comparing anybody. All right, 855-839-1210. Philadelphia public schools will be doing, all right, we're going to run a mile through the trailers at Lincoln. That's our presidential fitness test. What's wrong with people in Northeast Philadelphia? How can you vote for any Democrat? They are the party of illegal immigration. They're the party of crime. That's what they're about. Some are worse than others. Some are more progressive. They're the party of Larry Krasner. And Judge, come on now. You see what they're doing to Lincoln, to Northeast Philadelphia? I think that's your neighborhoods. You got to run. You got to give us a shot against Krasner. You can beat him. All right, 855-839-1210. Get on board.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
They knew exactly what they were doing 4 years ago when they tried to import 15 million potential new voters. They knew what they were doing when they were sending them in the middle of the night to Logan International in Boston, to other airports, and then somehow they show up in North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. What do those 7 have in common? Well, spank my ass, they're called swing states.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When my business was taking off, our old phone system just wasn't cutting it. We needed fewer missed calls, more flexibility, and better visibility into customer conversations. That's when I found OpenPhone.
OpenPhone is the all-in-one system for small businesses and growing teams. Manage multiple numbers from one device, work seamlessly as a team with shared numbers, and stay organized with AI-powered call transcripts, summaries, and next steps, so nothing gets missed and your team responds faster. OpenPhone integrates with tools you already use, like Slack, HubSpot, and Zapier, so everything's connected and efficient.
Having tried just about every relevant small business phone system, OpenPhone is truly in a league of its own. It's now essential to how we run our business, and I couldn't be happier with the value it brings.
See why over 60,000 businesses trust OpenPhone. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. How many times are you going to listen to my voice before you finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. Stacy Garrity, the state treasurer, wonderful record. Will she run at some point for governor here is a big, big question. But Democrats going after her, saying she signed off on the big, beautiful bill. In other words, she voted for it. She's a treasurer. She's not in Congress. All right, we'll talk with her about a wide array of things, and Dom's Money Melody coming up, too. David in Lexington, South Carolina. Hi, David.
Hey, Dom, how you doing?
Good.
I'll tell you, when I was in high school down here, now I graduated a long time ago, back in 89, but we actually had, we called them portables, but we had the same thing you're talking about.
Right. Exactly. Yep, that's what they are. These are even bigger, though. Imagine 22 of them for the freshman class.
Yeah. That's something.
Go ahead, David. What do you have on your side?
Oh, yeah. So my unwritten rule is when you're in the men's room, you're at the urinal, you look straight ahead. You don't look left or right. I don't care if the next guy is 5 or 6 away. You look straight.
Well, also, you brought up the other rule, too. If there's any space at all, you don't stand next to somebody in the urinal.
Absolutely.
If there's 10 spaces, look for the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Thank you, David. Thank you. That's a definite rule. That's not even an unwritten rule. It ought to be up there in the urinal.
Yeah, it's always like fitting into like a puzzle. It's like, all right, I got one guy here. There's 2 spaces between them, and there's another guy. Where do I go?
Exactly. I want to know kind of an unwritten thing we were going to do. One of these last couple of days is National Lipstick Day. We had a side worked up on that. Why don't women wear red lipstick anymore or lipstick in general? I need some help out there what the reason is. When did that happen? I think Dawn wears lipstick. I was watching today on YouTube.
Oh,
yeah. Should have asked. I'll ask her tomorrow if we don't get an answer today. Okay, we got the Money Melody coming up for a great prize. And we also have Stacy Garrity, who I'm hoping runs for governor, doing an unbelievable job as treasurer. She's had quite a life experience in the military and as treasurer. And a number of things happened this week indicating that Democrats are afraid of her. I mean, they went out of their way to say the truth of the stuff they put out. And they had a point in their weekly review saying, did you know that Stacy Garrity voted for the big, beautiful bill? Oh, she did? She's a treasurer. She's not a congressperson. All right. Bunch of other stuff, too, including Charlie Gasparino, who we really like when he's on from Fox Business. He claims the Washington Commanders owners are really thinking hard about changing their name back to the Redskins. I know it's a small point, cultural point. Can Trump get them to go back to Redskins because of the leverage that's there? Gasparino's inside this stuff. Give you details on that, too, on Talk Radio 1210.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
4 kids and a city worker were shot at a West Philly rec center pool. Philadelphia Archbishop Nelson Perez gifts the Pope with an Eagles Super Bowl hat at the Vatican. And the Phillies get their star closer, trading for the hard-throwing Joan Duran in exchange for 2 prospects.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hey, daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
I'm Jalen Hurst here for Window Nation. If you're a fan of saving money, listen up.
Save with Window Nation's best deal yet. Get 50% off all window styles, plus no interest until 2030. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com before July 31st. Tell them you heard it on 1210 WPHT.
Don't pay more than you have to for new windows. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-597-7992. That's 800-597-7992. When you call, you'll get free information. Free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-597-7992. That's 800-597-7992
do today.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
First, there was Tuesday. Then, there was Taco Tuesday. Now at Wendy's, there's Takis Tuesday. Get a new Takis Fuego meal, a.k.a. Takis Fuego chicken sandwich, Fuego fries inspired by Takis, a bag of Takis Fuego chips, a small drink, and also a small Frosty Classic. Yes, you can get that any day, but on Takis Tuesday, the Frosty is free. Make every Tuesday a Takis Tuesday. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Welcome in. Got a great side question going. We see the White House laying out more information in a news conference today that Hillary Clinton approved the Russiagate hoax, something we all believe, we have knowledge of, but it's starting to connect the dots. I think the biggest thing this last couple days coming off of the Tulsi Gabbard releases, there have been several releases of all these documents, is the fact that those that say there's nothing new to see here, that's a flat-out lie. Evidence of that, of the story of Kash Patel finding some secret rooms at the FBI with the Russiagate material in burn bags. And we have a whistleblower coming forward, and he was told he wouldn't be promoted. He might be ousted from the Defense Department unless he worked up and tried to develop this idea that the Russians were very, very involved and very, very successful in pushing Trump over the top in 2016. So we see all those things coming together here. And we're monitoring to see where the next break is. Where does this land? Will there be? And the ball's in Pam Bondi's court at this point in time to determine, I would say, that Clapper and Brennan will be indicted at some point, particularly near future. That's where this leads. President Obama, I don't see it going there, but we don't know yet. But this is new information that's out there. Radcliffe of the CIA last week, we played you stuff like that this week. I'm looking at the Federalist. You need to trust me on this. Clapper's crony told the analyst, the whistleblower, saying, we'd like to demonstrate in you the ability to outgrow the refusal to sign off on assessments he did not concur with. And the other headline, FBI Director Kash Patel found sensitive documents on Trump-Russia probe buried in burn bags. Now, why they didn't get rid of them at the end, I'm not sure. And there's a lot here. We know about the Durham report. Remember the Durham report on all this? But there was a very classified, highly classified part of that, and that's part of what Tulsi Gabbard has been releasing. So to say, the broad strokes on this, is to say that somehow or another, this is not new. You're just dredging up old stuff that's already been debunked. That just shows you how far they're willing to go with this. If you want to say, well, yeah, there's some things here, but it's a nothing burger in the end. Okay, politically, you might duke that out. I think it is something that's going to result in indictments. But to say that this is something completely that we've been through so many times, that's just ludicrous. I'm looking at the funeral procession for the NYPD cop who was killed in the shooting this week. Enormous when you see that sea of blue coming together. And you realize that every day this is a job more than almost all where your loved one may not come home. And I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure that Mondani is not going to speak there, but I believe he is at the funeral. And it's difficult, I guess, to keep him out of the funeral. With de Blasio, though, there were opportunities where the police publicly went against him. Mondani is every bit as bad, maybe not as obnoxious personally. That's hard to say, de Blasio's special case. But the New York City police recognize that this guy's just a hater. That's what we have in public office. How do we arrive at a level in these blue cities where there's at least one public official like Krasner or like Mondani, who I think will be the next mayor, that are not just in their heart secretly, but publicly haters of cops? It's the mileage that fuels the people that support them. I mean, that's a big part. You know what happened. I don't care what anyone says. We've played it several times. The first time Krasner won, when it was announced, the mobs that were there were chanting, blank the cops, F the cops, filling in the blank. So much so that one of his little weasel henchmen, communications guy, had to go over and try to get him to calm down with TV there to say, no, that's not what we're about. That's exactly what he's about. That's the thing that's a driving force for him. Hatred of the police. And this guy Mondani, we played you yesterday live, still can't answer how he's changed on defund the police. He talked about having his own security force, how nice, protecting him, that are made up of cops. So those are a couple things we're following, that there's nothing imminently breaking on them right now, but there will be. And I still think, as we look to the midterms, so we're already looking toward the midterms. You heard Guy Shiraki with me. I'm saying there's two M's that are going to be in the top 5 things that determine how these midterms come out. I would put us as a better chance than the Democrats, meaning better than 50-50. I'd put it 55-45, something like that, to maintain the House. The problems are, we don't know what will happen between now and then, and media, what they'll do, because they want to stop Trump at all cost. But here in Pennsylvania, the one M is Mastriano. If he's the nominee, that is going to mean we're going to lose some of these congressional seats of a bare margin, maybe 3, 4 or so here. That could be enough that Democrats are in control then. Think about that, right here in Pennsylvania, the damage this man will cause. Mondani is the upside. He will be the mayor of New York, I'll predict. And if he's in the mayor, Republicans are going to go to town with him as the face of the Democrat Party. It's one thing to have Bernie, but it's another thing to have a guy like this, the actual mayor of New York, and his background and what he's running on. That will be in every ad. It will be a big plus. So if he's mayor and Doug Mastriano is not the nominee, I feel pretty good about the midterms. I feel very good about them. All right, you get a line today. Unwritten rules coming off. This is the day that Pete Rose, I think it was yesterday or today, his hitting streak was stopped at 44 games. Pete was really hot. The 45th game, Gene Garber, former Philly, came in. I think he was pitching for Atlanta then and was throwing a lot of changeups. And Pete didn't like it, that he was nibbling and wouldn't challenge him that last at bat to get the hit to continue on. So that gave us the premise, unwritten rules. Like if you shovel out that snow in South Philly, you keep the spot. I mean, that's one of my top 10 commandments. All right, 855-839-1210. You can get on board. Still today, incredibly more YouTube alert, youtube.com/1210WPHT. Here is the Pilates woman. Yes, this is cut 18, Henry. This woman teaches Pilates. She doesn't look like it, but okay. Here's what she said she would do if you got into her class and you were with the American Eagle advertising team, or you liked what this ad is. Listen to this Pilates teacher, cut 18.
If anyone from American Eagle who was involved in the creation of Sydney Sweeney's most recent advertisement booked into my Pilates class, I would give them the hardest exercise class that I was capable of doing on the lightest possible spring load.
Spring load?
With 0 breath cues.
Oh, my God. No breath cues.
And I would make it the toughest exercise class that they'd ever experienced in their lives.
What is the derangement factor? Mainly these are women in the clips we've been playing you to, going down this path. Do they really believe this is a salute to fascism? Do they hate her because she's... the New York Times even had 2 columnists on Wednesday write a piece about how thinness is the new part of MAGA. It's the badge. These women that are MAGA types, did you ever notice they're all thin? I thought before they were saying they were fat bumpkins going to the trailer park. Now they're all thin. Which one is it? The craziness over this, still having legs today over this ad and the outcry over it. I mean, arguably, it's been one of the biggest story of the week. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on Lincoln High School, Ground Zero. I got to get up there, too. We've been talking about that, of what illegal immigration does. It's stunning. 22 trailers to be put in for. Where are the parents? I'm sure Joe Bocosi's talking about it, the Republican, the new state senator from there. I got a text from a source telling me maybe we'll get on this. He's a Democrat. His name is McDermott, but I'm told he's a normal Democrat. He's a former district teacher who's active in Mayfair civic associations and Democrat politics. And I've heard from my source who's impeccable. He's a good guy and all that. I wouldn't go after him. But I asked him, how do you stay in the Democrat Party, though, is a legitimate question. Can't you see that even the, quote, normal Democrats, you're just giving them cover? This is what they do. They're the party of illegal immigration. They're taking a great Philadelphia neighborhood. Now, I'm not saying that Mayfair was like Leave It to Beaver at any point, but it was the epitome of middle class in this area, particularly in the city. And now their children going to Lincoln High School last year were forced to eat lunch at 9 a.m. Now they're forced to be in 22 trailers that they're putting in. And what an eyesore with the neighborhood. It was never intended for this. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? And we had a guy, an official, call in who said, yeah, he's reffed soccer matches, and he's told by the coach, well, don't say it in English. Just use hand signals. Oh, how do you know that's illegal then, Dom? Yeah, how do I know anything? Suddenly Mayfair is getting every legal immigrant in the world wanting to go there. Do you really think that's the case? I think it has a tremendous number of people that might be here from Brazil, as an example, one that doesn't come up nearly as often. At least that's my observation. So why do people continue to vote for Democrats? You got Krasner threatening their lives by his policies. What do they find in doing that? It's kind of inertia. They just can't vote for the Republican. It's a style thing. They grew up with it. Is it a union thing? And is Judge Dugan going to run and at least give us hope? The longer this goes on without him announcing, it tells me he's not. It's going to be Larry Krasner as your DA, and it continues. So if you want illegal immigration, if you want crime, if you want kids eating lunch at 9 a.m. in trailers, vote for Democrats. What is it that is the upside? And I'm not talking about your perception of the average Republican, but I'm talking in the era of Trump, the Republican Party. Why would it not be for Philadelphia? Now, there has been a voter registration surge that Philadelphia has gone up a good bit toward the Republican side. That could be just that people registered as a Democrat for a while to vote against Krasner, and it's catching up. Could it be that Trump has broken through a little bit in Philadelphia and that we're seeing somewhat of an uptick here? But look at what Philadelphia does. We told you yesterday, before it got out in the paper today, that at the Municipal Services Building, prime spot, Sadie Alexander, who was a trailblazer, accomplished black woman in a time of great discrimination. I have no problem. They're going to put a statue that they're making now to her. But why does Frank Rizzo have to be put under guard in some warehouse somewhere? Why? Because this is what they do. This is what they are about. This is what the modern Democrat Party is about. Why can't Sadie Alexander be there and a space over have Frank Rizzo? Nope, we're not going to do that. Because Frank Rizzo is seen as anathema to the Sadie Alexanders of the world. That's why he can't be there. Harriet Tubman, who I really admire, is going to have a statue, I believe, in the City Hall area. And on it goes. Okay, that's fine. It's the same group of people who couldn't stomach the idea of Columbus being down there in South Philly. So not only are we not getting any new statues, public spaces devoted to anybody remotely conservative, they're trying to remove the ones that were already there, like Columbus, Frank Rizzo, etc. All that during the George Floyd summer. They got away with it. They actually set fire to it, some of them. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Right now, though, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Has all the money gone?
That's right. We have a 4-pack of tickets to the Philadelphia Eagles training camp public practice on Sunday, August 10th at 6 p.m. at Lincoln Financial Field. This event will benefit the Eagles Autism Foundation. This is a great close-up of the world champs and all the things that go with it. So, Henry, what do you have today?
All right, Dom. So, the side question today, we're asking for that all-time unwritten rule, and I tried to tie this in as best as I could to that. So, the Bee Gees, when they wrote the song Stayin' Alive, when they recorded it, they did a procedure in it which was a big no-no in music at the time. They broke an unwritten rule, we'll say. Obviously, I'm not going to play Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees. I just, announced it to the whole world. But I will play a cover of Stayin' Alive. I want to know this very famous cover artist. I don't think I really have to say anything about this cover artist, except that they're in the news lately. I'll leave it at that. So let me know who is covering Stayin' Alive here. Very recognizable voice.
Yeah, not a great rendition, or maybe I've just wed it to the other. But okay, so we're looking for them. You're off to the Eagles practice. By the way, a great unwritten rule on Twitter kind of gets the spirit of this from Don't Miss Left. Never wear a white shirt to a pasta dinner. All right, that's a good rule.
I don't know why I do. Any white shirt for me is just it's a ruined shirt eventually.
Yeah, well, when I'm around pasta, I want to cover up like it's an invisible shield to people around me.
Yeah.
And even then, or anything chocolate that's good, like ice cream or gelato. All right, get in, 855-839-1210. You can be a winner, and you're off to see the Philadelphia Eagles practice here on Talk Radio 1210.
Former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper.
Well, I'll lawyer up, I suppose. Already have.
So I don't really feel sorry for these people that they have to lawyer up, considering how many people in the Trump world had to lawyer up, including the president himself, who was literally prosecuted in multiple jurisdictions. And ultimately, if Clapper's arrested and if he's indicted and if there's a trial, it'll be up to a jury to decide whether or not he's guilty of these things.
Rich Zioli, weekday afternoons 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Your roof isn't just shingles and nails, it's an investment in your home's future. Hi, this is Matt from Emmons Roofing and Siding. At Emmons, we use and install only top-tier roofing and siding materials that help boost your home's curb appeal and help your home's resale value. As you know, the most expensive project is the one you have to do twice, so get the job done right the first time with Emmons. Call us today at 856-556-3229 or visit callemmons.com. From the main line to the shore, from top to bottom, inside and out, at Emmons, we have you covered.
At Citizens, we know when you're into something, you seek out advice. We all do. When you're into fitness, you got a trainer.
Another 12 reps. Let's go.
Wellness, a meditation expert.
And breathe.
And a stylist when you realized fuchsia wasn't your color.
That's so you.
So, what about advice for your money? From making a plan to reaching your goals, Citizens has the guidance you've been looking for all along. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Get started at your local branch or online at citizensbank.com/made-ready.
Dawn Stensland here with exciting news from my friends at Piazza Auto Group. Acura has just been named America's Best Value Luxury Brand in Kelley Blue Book's 2025 Consumer Choice Awards. That means top performance, cutting-edge tech, and unmistakable style. All with long-term value you can trust. From the sporty Integra to the all-new ADX and your dynamic MDX, Acura delivers more for your drive and your dollar. Visit Piazza Acura in Ardmore, Reading, or Westchester. Shop online, piazzaacura.com. Tell Dawn sent you.
This is Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. Every year, millions of people are hurt in car accidents. The numbers are overwhelming. But if you're injured in an accident, don't feel overwhelmed. Call Lundy Law. We'll remove the stress and work quickly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. We hope we never meet because of an accident, but if we do, we're here for you. Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
This summer, Hester Chevy of Cherry Hill is bringing you spectacular savings and a great selection. Get a new 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab, just $43,999. That's over $11,000 in savings. Or finance a new 2025 Chevy Blazer EV or Equinox EV with 0% APR for 60 months. Cherry Hill's trusted Chevy dealer. Online at HesterChevyCH.com. Call 856-406-6397 for details. Together, let's drive.
Summer is here and the good old times are calling. Heat things up with Jack Daniel's Tennessee Fire. Cool down with Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. And for the classic moments, there's always Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 Black Label. Right now, head into your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store and get $3 off each of these summer favorites. And don't forget to pick up a 4-pack of Jack and Coke or Jack and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, ready to drink in a can. Celebrate responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% ABV. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniel's and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniel's Properties Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
From Chester Springs to Clementon, we know your favorite stations, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, let's hear the cover. We're looking for the band Breaking Rules covering the Bee Gees.
And to be clear, Dom, we're not looking for a band. We're looking for a man.
Okay, the man. Okay. All right, the lead singer. Is that the...
This is solo. This is solo work.
Solo. Okay.
Yes.
All right, gotcha. Ray in the Northeast on Talk Radio 1210. All right, Ray, who is that singer?
Well, I thought it was going to be a group. I was going with Aerosmith.
All right.
Yeah, well.
All right, Ray, good try. Jim in Feasterville. Jim, who's the singer?
Oh, man, how do you not get it? It's Ozzy Osbourne, the Ozman.
All right, there you go. Huge turnout in Birmingham for him. I mean, really extensive with the funeral this week. Breaking Rules, yes, I would agree.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess I hear a little Steven Tyler in there, but
Okay.
Anywho, no, the rules that the Bee Gees broke is that they used a drum machine instead of real drums when they recorded Staying Alive.
Okay.
Their producers hated it. So they made him go back and re-record it, and they just said, oh, yeah, we did it with a drummer this time. They really didn't. They did it with the drum machine again. This time they all liked it, and they credited the drummer as Bernard Lupe, who's not a real person. So when people went looking for Bernard Lupe after his great drumming, they're like, oh, wait, he doesn't exist, and we actually just used the drum machine again. So that was the unwritten rule they broke, I guess.
That's good.
Yeah.
Very good. Sometimes these are hard to shoehorn into things. So, yeah. That's a winner today, Jim. You're off to see the Eagles practice. Now, breaking news, and this has been going on quite a bit. Okay, President Trump looking at what's going on in Gaza. Now, it seems to me it's more Hamas baked in here with looting, shooting people, et cetera, as far as food. But even though the New York Times reported on themselves that they had information about starvation that was not factual, it's obvious there is a crisis going on. All right? So President Trump is sending Huckabee in and Witkoff, the guy he sends on all kinds of missions like this, to ascertain what's going on in Gaza, the lack of food. Why is that the case? I have no problem. I've tried to get Mike Huckabee on many times now since he's been named ambassador. But the idea that the media, CNN in particular, is putting out there, this is just Netanyahu starving people to get back at Hamas, is way off the mark. We'll see, though. Witkoff hoping to have ceasefire talks with Hamas. Hamas has to be exterminated. Any remnants of them will continue to do what we saw on October 7th. And President Trump is going to lay out a path to end military operations in Gaza. I get it with the food. You're seeing, the difficulty. Israel gave Gaza as a sign to develop that, and instead we saw that's where the attacks emanated from. So now we're in a dire situation there, and it's fine for Huckabee and Witkoff, I don't know if they go in tomorrow or tonight or when, to rule on why are people not getting food there. We'll see. All right, but how they go and will be played up back toward Netanyahu. I mentioned at the top of the show a nugget today. I've been talking about Lincoln and having the neighbors in an uproar, 22 trailers to be put in addition to the school, because they're overloaded because of the population change in that area. Steve Keeley reported this yesterday, put this up on his Twitter. One of the 6 young men convicted in the murder of Eddie Pollock, arrested by ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations and Homeland Security Investigations, Philadelphia field office agents. Bo Katervang was listed as the worst of the worst among ICE's most wanted. That's what Keeley of Fox 29 and friend of the show tweeted out. Now, here's the thing. How was this guy and or his family here illegally? He was one, as Steve said, of the 6 convicted in the murder of Eddie Pollock. Now, I was at WWDB with Eddie Pollock, and I think it was relatively early on. So how many years did this guy get, A, is a question. Why, if he was here illegally or the family was here illegally, why was he allowed to stay? And look at this, the guy that was in one of the most infamous murders, if you remember, because of the 911 response or lack of response, and because of being beaten with baseball bats, some of them were from Abington High School, and he essentially was beaten on the steps of a church there in Fox Chase. How does that guy serve time for this? I thought they got 20 years. I'd have to go back and pull up his name and see what he got. And then Keeley reporting, he turns up among the worst of the worst on ICE's most wanted. Again, the broader point is this, the national point. Thank God Trump ran on this and is taking care of business. So will this guy finally not be among us? And we'll try to track that through Steve. will he be deported, I would assume, by ICE or held in prison? Complicit in the murder of Eddie Pollock, and now, even today, on the ICE worst of the worst, most wanted list. If this were the Biden administration, he'd probably have a parade in Mayfair, let alone being deported. I will try to get more specific details, but I bet most listeners remember the Eddie Pollock story. All right, coming up, really someone doing a stellar job as the treasurer of Pennsylvania, so much so that Democrats are putting out false updates saying she voted for the big, beautiful bill when she's not even in Congress. Stacy Garrity will join us next here on Talk Radio 1210.
Filing Form 2290 again? VINs, weights, EINs. What a nightmare.
Not with 2290.ai, the first AI-powered 2290 e-filing platform. Just snap or scan last year's Schedule 1 and hit submit, even if you're on the go.
Wait, with just a photo?
Yep. Our smart platform reads, validates, and files it in minutes. With real-time AI checks and instant Schedule 1 delivery, you can stay road ready and file fast.
Whoa, I just got my Schedule 1. Already?
That's right. Whether you're a solo hauler or running a fleet, smart truckers use smart tech. Just go to 2290.ai to snap or scan and submit. Anywhere, anytime.
Powered by ZenWork. Use code RADIO at checkout for 20% off your first filing. Only at 2290.ai. That's 2290.ai. With code RADIO at checkout for 20% off. 2290.ai.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
It's the Colonial Hyundai Fest. Up to 20% off any Hyundai stock. New Santa Fe's, Tucson's, and Elantras. Anyone you can rock. Come on down, we'll do the rest.
Hi, it's John Ashdale, the Car Czar from Colonial Hyundai. We've partnered with Hyundai for our largest event of the summer, the Colonial Hyundai Fest. Save up to 20% off any new Hyundai in stock. That's a savings of up to $10,000. Over 200 vehicles to choose from in stock, from new Santa Fe's, Tucson's, Elantras, and more. And 0% financing is available on any new Hyundai in stock. Plus, I'll give you $6,500 for your trade, no matter the condition, guaranteed, only at Colonial. Every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain, and Hyundai Assurance. Shop us online 24/7 at colonialhyundai.com. Colonial Hyundai, the faster, easier, better way to buy a Hyundai.
Stock vehicles only. Tax and tax additional offers cannot be combined. See dealer for full details. Offer expires July 31st, 2025.
Give your liver the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to new NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, big issues, big guests. One of our favorites have been in the news quite a lot, and we'll lay those out. The treasurer of Pennsylvania, Stacy Garrity, back with us on Talk Radio 1210. Treasurer, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Don. Great to be with you.
Well, the first thing that I saw was the Building Trades Union, and we had on some of your colleagues, shall we say, from the House and Senate, other female candidates, took umbrage at the building trades, saying they wouldn't even support you for dog catcher. They supported you the last time around if you run against Josh Shapiro.
Right. Pretty interesting since I hadn't even announced yet. Haven't actually, but that was a couple of weeks ago. So I would say a little premature. But look, I never expected they'd support me against the governor.
Yeah, exactly. But it just shows the level. And then I don't know who the fact checkers are over at the DNC in Pennsylvania, their party, but they put out this weekly stuff. Did you know? Saying that you voted for the big, beautiful bill. Now, they got to know your prominence. They got to know what your role in office is. How in the world did you do that? Are you working a day job in the Congress?
I know. Can you imagine? I must have cloned myself. But obviously, I'm not a member of Congress, but I am so proud to serve our Commonwealth as the treasurer. And because I'm not a member, no, I did not vote on the, one big, beautiful bill. However, I know how important this bill is for families across the Commonwealth who are going to benefit tremendously from it.
Yeah, you more than anybody, given your role as kind of the fiscal watchdog. You've said so many times how many organizations and checks you have to monitor that go out. The Medicaid part of that, in your view, do you intersect with that? Have you had a chance to take a look at it? We know what the other side is going to happen, but we've had on people at high levels like Dr. Oz told me explicitly twice, Stacy, he's been on, that they are not going to be cutting anybody. There's a somewhat of a work requirement for those that are able-bodied. That's all that's really involved here.
Exactly. Anybody that needs to be on Medicaid is going to be on Medicaid, and that's just the bottom line. They're just fear-mongering. And you know what? If you're able-bodied with no dependents, then what's the matter with working or volunteering 20 hours a week? I think most people that I talk to are totally fine with that. It's less of a requirement that Bill Clinton put in, and that was totally bipartisan. So I'm not sure why this is different. But certainly it is.
One other aspect of the big, beautiful bill you and I talked about, and I apologize, I didn't know this at the time or bring it up enough. Not only will this help parents if the governor signs off on it in Pennsylvania, if he doesn't, I bet a lot of Pennsylvanians will contribute to Ohio, a border that does accept this. I was told yesterday by the guy who actually lobbied this for 3 years. He talked about meeting with Democrats. He got zero. The intensity of this, a real school choice group, that all the public schools have to do under this is set up a 503C or something like that for more than one school. They would get money for computers and tutoring, which is really needed. They would be helped under this.
Exactly, but the states have to opt in, and so,
right.
There's going to be tremendous pressure from the teachers' unions.
So,
but you know what?
Go ahead.
Pennsylvania Democrats, they just need to do better.
Yeah, I mean, as governor, we know his aspirations, Shapiro, are to run nationally, and he was in it the last time. But to not sign off on this, it doesn't take away from the public schools. In fact, public schools could benefit. It just frees up people in Pennsylvania. Politically, play that out. I mean, you're at the grassroots, rural Pennsylvania, places like that. How do you defend that?
Well, I don't think you can. And, the governor has had not one, not two, but three positions on school choice, and I like to say parents' choice as well. So first he was for it, then he was against it, and now apparently he is neutral. And the governor might be able to afford to play games with our children's education, but you know what? Our parents can't.
The budget going on now, it's starting to hit where we're seeing some developments around it. As treasurer, how do you play out in this? What does it do when we have this period? It must have some consequence if we don't have a functioning budget as things going smoothly as far as public funds being allotted.
Exactly. So the longer it drags out, just programs, I will not be able to pay the bills unless it's a prior year allocation. And so, the longer it drags out, the more the heat's going to get turned up. This is the governor's budget, and that's what it's called in the Constitution. So I think they ought to be in Harrisburg working on it.
Yes, and that's a criticism of Josh Shapiro in that he's been at fundraisers at pretty fancy places. He was on the Colbert Show, et cetera. It doesn't seem like there's interest, all-out pressure to move this on sooner rather than later.
No, he's, flying around the country on taxpayer dollars instead of getting a budget done, which, a lot of hardworking Pennsylvanians rely on these programs. And so we should have all hands on deck right now.
Talking with Treasurer Stacy Garrity. In the role of Treasurer, we've talked extensively, some of the initiatives you put forward. What's happening right now? What are you looking at now, in addition to the day-to-day of what you do?
Sure. So great question. We just sent out 80,000 letters notifying folks that they're getting a check for unclaimed property. And so this is roughly going to be probably $15 to $17 million, Dom, in checks. So if any of your listeners get a check, cash it. It's a real program, it's real money, and it belongs to you.
Yes, well, I know how efficient, even with the medals we've talked about with the military, et cetera. When you look toward Josh Shapiro, and I've talked to a lot of people on the air and off the air, and I think we agree, he is beatable. He's not. He hasn't really ever been pressed all the way back to when he was a state representative and I first had him on in Montgomery County. He was pressed then because it was kind of Republican. But short of that, in any of these races, he hasn't been pressed. In the upcoming governor's race, whether you run or not, what are some of the big issues that you think would play out? He'll be the nominee, certainly. What are some of the things for the Republican to be bringing up, do you think?
So, look, things aren't working out how they should under the Shapiro administration. Every single year, Josh Shapiro has run a deficit. Just this past fiscal year that ended June 30th, we spent $3 billion more than what we brought in. And so you know what that means? Taxes are going to go up in a couple of years. It's inevitable. So if you want a Shapiro tax increase, stick with what we're doing. Also, we need more jobs. We need to unleash the liquid gold under our feet, and we need safe communities so our kids can go and play on the playground without worried about, getting shot at.
Yeah, without a doubt. And here in Philadelphia, I don't know if this is on your radar screen. I've been talking about it today. Lincoln High School, Northeast Philadelphia, is really the center of what was middle class in our area, Stacy. They, in the next year, if this goes through, there's going to be a big parents' rights meeting, zoning meeting. They're going to put the freshman class of Lincoln, 900 kids, into 22 trailers, is what's being come up with here. And it seems to be even the Inquirer and others recognize that illegal immigration is at the heart of this. This is the type of thing going on in Pennsylvania right now, even though the Trump administration is moving heaven and earth on this. Does your office in any way, shape, or form have anything to do with what you see as the effects of legal immigration?
No, not really. I mean, it's ancillary just with all the money that we're spending,
Right.
There's a lot of illegals getting, entitlements that they shouldn't have,
Right.
and that's obvious, and we're uncovering those numbers. But, just looking at what Trump's doing, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. If you're working overtime, spending hours away from your family, the federal government should keep their hands out of your pocket. So just looking at what Trump has done in the last 6 months, effectively shutting down that border. And so now, we've got to finish the job.
Absolutely. We had on the head of the Border Patrol Union today, and to that point, he said, no, we're not making up the numbers. We can document it. It is almost zero on some days across 2,000 miles. It is remarkable. Where do we find Stacy Garrity? Where do people go for more information, particularly you mentioned unclaimed stuff that you're intimately involved in trying to get that out there to the public? Stacy, where do they go?
Okay, so for unclaimed property, you go to patreasury.gov/unclaimed property. You just pop in your name. It takes about 2 minutes. Website, Garrity4PA.com, on X, Garrity4PA, and on Facebook, Stacy Garrity4PA.
Stacy, thank you very, very much. Thanks for joining us, as always.
Always great to be with you.
Stacy Garrity here on Talk Radio 1210. All right, we'll see. We're getting closer and closer to decision time. And I, of course, can't say enough that I hope she runs. I think we'll have a real battle here. And if she doesn't, I'm not feeling a lot of confidence about what will happen. All right. So taking on Josh Shapiro, you have somebody with a vast military background. I think she was a colonel ultimately in Iraq. Somebody with the background fiscally. She's been involved in all kinds of things, including the Treasury. And somebody who really has come from and gets rural Pennsylvania, which is a gold mine for anybody that will run against Shapiro. And somebody who has seen up close what this guy's really all about. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that. All right, it is the lightning round next. Here's how you get in. 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. Just push pound 1210. And Stacy and I are just talking about President Trump, no tax on tips, overtime, etc. But in addition to that, would this guy, and thank God we have people in the media here locally like Steve Keeley, and on Twitter, some people going after him, for taking us and linking us to one of the most infamous things that happened here, the killing of Eddie Pollock. And one of the kids, then young, who was convicted in that, somehow or another is out of jail. Remember, they killed him with baseball bats. They killed him with baseball bats and ends up, I wouldn't have known this even, as much as I'm on top of this stuff, ends up on the ICE enforcement and removal operations and Homeland Security, in quotes, the worst of the worst among ICE's most wanted. Okay? He was listed as that. We're getting results. Just tie it all together. It's happening every day in our area. And what's going on in Mayfair with Lincoln, somebody's alerting me to the zoning meeting on this. I'm planning to go to it because it's bigger than Lincoln. It's bigger than anything associated with it. It's broader than that. It's about what this is about and why Trump was elected. That's where we're going. All right, 855-839-1210. Jump in, get your name into the hat. All-time unwritten rule.
Insurance companies often have a basic strategy: delay, deny, defend. Some try to grind you down, but they have another tremendous weapon, a software called Colossus. They know which attorneys are great and which are not so great. They know who is likely to take the last offer and who will take them by their scalp, kicking and screaming to trial. They know that they have to pay some firms early and fairly. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. The insurance companies have done their homework. Before you hire a lawyer for your injury case, do yours. Visit forthepeople.com and see our settlements and verdicts for cases like yours. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. When you hire the wrong firm, you may be beat before you start. All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, 2005 Market Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania lawyer will handle Pennsylvania cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
4 kids and a city worker were shot at a West Philly rec center pool. Philadelphia Archbishop Nelson Perez gifts the Pope with an Eagles Super Bowl hat at the Vatican. And the Phillies get their star closer, trading for the hard-throwing Joan Duran in exchange for 2 prospects.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese. My wife Cindy and I had a new roof installed by Impriano Roofing, Siding, and Windows, and we're delighted. When it comes to your roof, it's like football. Good planning is essential. Jack Impriano and his 4 sons are a true family business, serving our area for over 5 decades. If you need a new roof, call Jack Impriano Roofing. Online at Impriano.com. That's Impriano.com. It's good to hire Jack and his team. Remember, the best homes have an Impriano roof.
In love with your car, but it's near the end of its lease? Hoping to avoid the headache of having to find a new one? With an auto lease buyout from American Heritage Credit Union, stay in your reliable set of wheels and make the most of your car's value. With this smart cost savings option, you'll enjoy no payments for the first 2 months and a low rate. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/auto to get started. Insured by NCUA. Not a member? Join today. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. Henry, thank you for that, but I got to get there by a certain time, so I'll have to judge. Parking situation here in downtown Philly. I think I can do it.
All right, let's see. This downpour out of nowhere.
It's the presidential fitness test, and I have to get there.
In the rain.
Stay away from my car. You don't know my car.
Don't breathe through your mouth.
And always, here's an unwritten law, always have an umbrella wherever you, and I have one in the car. I didn't think to bring it in today. That's right. Don't breathe through your mouth. All right, the side question, unwritten rules, coming off are pretty convoluted. By the way, here's a watch tonight. I will be watching in real time. Kamala Harris with Stephen Colbert tonight on her book, 107 Days. The whole pitch is, I only had 107 days. That's why I lost. And I believe that helped her.
Oh, totally.
When you get a question from Sunny Hostin on The View and she says, just tell us how you're going to be a little bit different than President Biden. And you stumble and say, well, I'm not going to be different at all in anything. Even the women on The View, didn't you get it? This is the setup. We're laying down for you as much as we can. What can you do? I wonder what they said after that. I got to go back and look at it. All right, let's go to Phil in Delaware. Lightning round here on Talk Radio 1210. All right, Phil, what's yours?
Hey, good afternoon. Two quick things. One, the answer to the side question. Parking in the center island on Broad Street. They say it's against the law. Unwritten rule? Nah.
That's right. Phil, you have quite an eye. That's right. It will forever be that you're able to park in the middle of Broad Street. That's what makes Philadelphia, Philadelphia.
Yep. And the other thing was to get the fastest mile at Lincoln, just yell, ICE is in the building.
All right. I'm not going to wait. Not going to go with that. Thank you, Phil. Robert in Ben Salem. Robert, what's yours?
Dom, Henry, good to talk to you guys today. And Kamala's answer was, nothing comes to mind, which pretty much sums her up in general.
That is a great point. What did they say afterward, though, like Sunny Hostin and all? I think they still try to extract something out of her.
They gave her another shot, and she didn't know what they were doing, I guess, because she's so quick on the uptake. But I'll get right to the side answer. In some sports, when a guy gets hurt, play stops, and they take care of the injury. But in sports like soccer or hockey, that's not always possible. So like in soccer, if somebody gets hurt, while they have the ball, they'll kick the ball out of bounds so that they can see the player. The next team, when they get the ball, because of that, will then also throw it out so it goes back to the first team so they don't get punished for the injury. Common courtesy.
I did not know that. Thank you, Robert. Gary in Newtown. Gary, what do you have today?
Well, in exact opposite of what Robert just said, when you're going down 95 or going to Germantown and there's a lane merge and there's two, everybody's has to do the zipper. It's one car, then the other car, then one car, then the other car. It's the written rule that left, then right, left, then right. I was in a road rage incident about 20 minutes ago while on hold. Well, one guy's sitting here going, hey, I'm going again. No, you have to wait for me. It's my turn now.
Oh, man, a road rage incident on the side question. Perfect. We got to give points for that. Thank you, Gary. Joe in Exton, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, what's yours today?
Oh, yes. Hello, Dom. Good afternoon. You are in the elevator of a department store. And in the elevator, there is the operator and two other riders. As you ascend to an upper floor, you do not engage the other riders in conversation.
Why is that?
I don't know. You don't know anybody.
All right. Well, Joe, I don't think they have elevator operators anymore. I can't remember the last one I've been in.
Oh, man.
Yes. You got to engage a person. You got to say, some weather, raining outside, something.
Yeah.
Then shut up. Yeah, one engagement. All right, the Earl of Tacony finishes. What's yours, Earl?
Real quick, Lincoln was a baby boomer school, and the old school used to be closer to Roland Avenue. Within the last 10 years, they just built a brand-new school on the property behind the old building.
Right.
The building's less than 10 years old. You would have thought they would have taken into account, put in a little room for expansion. If the old building was set for 5,000 kids, maybe make it for 5,500 or 6,000. Give them a opportunity instead of having to build it at
well,
maximum
I have
capacity
news for
and
you. I have news for you. In the Trump era, by the end of these 2 years, they're probably not going to have to worry about those trailers. They're not going to have to put any more in. That's what's happening.
Quite possibly. But my answer is when you turn on red and you have people coming down towards you, go the speed limit or faster, because I'm tired of every time I come down and someone is in a hurry and they go through the red light and they get cut in front of you and they're going slower than you are. It's like you couldn't wait till I got
the
past.
fast to get in front, then go slow. That is an old one. All right, let me start here with Henry, because that's something got in you there. Go ahead.
No, it drives me crazy. It's the same thing with merging onto the highway. You got to match that speed of traffic. You can't be slowing down.
So that's your winner.
I'm definitely nominating Earl for sure. The other one I really liked was Phil in Delaware with the parking on the center island. That is an unwritten rule because it is illegal, but no one does anything about it.
You gotta. That's where you park in South Philly. How about Andrew?
I like the driving. 65 and you go on the highway at 50. Why?
Yeah.
That's how accidents
You're gonna get
happen.
rear-ended. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how bad stuff happens. And then the other one I liked was I'm a big guy on sportsmanship. So if there's an injury on the sports field and you can do something to stop and make sure the guy's okay and stuff, I'm always for that.
All right, let's go with the Earl of Tacony then. It seems to be in the surge at the end. He really broke through.
Yeah,
last
minute.
Kamala Harris with Colbert tonight. What will we talk about tomorrow? Well, I think we will. Rich Zioli warming up in the bullpen, though. 4 big hours next. All that here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You're driving along when you realize...
Oh, I've got to get over. Oh my gosh, sorry.
You didn't see him, did you? He was in your blind spot. You can also have a blind spot when it comes to your retirement. That's where Joe Yakovich of JML Financial Group comes in. He knows about a little blind spot called taxes. Social Security, your pension, your investments, all can be taxable. Look, you don't want to end up saying,
Will I be writing huge checks to the government when I retire?
Don't get blindsided by taxes. Make sure your retirement plan has a tax plan. With one call to JML Financial Group, 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company. JML Financial Group does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-597-7992. That's 800-597-7992. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-597-7992. That's 800-597-7992 today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a